There's not a delay on. You know what? Even if there's nobody joins, I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm going to. This is this will be cathartic in some way. I don't know how. It really isn't. Like this isn't cathartic. This is just torture. What am I doing? Could be watching Game 6 of the 2021 NLCS right now. Nobody would know. Hey, Zach. I think it's just you and me right now. This reminds me of one time where I had a friend who started getting into Twitch streaming, and I was just so curious what, I don't know, like how many followers they had and like what they were doing. And I remember joining one of their streams, and literally I was the only one there. And it kind of feels like how it feels right now, you know? And I left immediately. I couldn't bear they didn't know it was me joining. I think so they probably got excited like, "Oh, some random person, saw that I was live on Twitch and decided to join." And yeah, I left immediately. I they probably don't think about that often, but I think about that exchange a lot actually. Thank you, Zach. I just it's so intimidating, the idea of just hopping in with no prior experience, cuz again, just being able to talk off the cuff is really really difficult. Like doing it in front of just, anybody, really. Zach, it might just be you and me tonight. We might literally just be reliving that night together. Um was that the night I threw a shoe at you, or accidentally almost threw a shoe at you? I think that was the other night. Oh, is this one unlisted? Oh, that probably makes sense. Okay. See, this is the thing. I'm still new to this. Zach, you are so clutch for that. This one literally is unlisted. Oh my god. Cause it's like, okay, so first I have to press go live on OBS Studio, right? And then I press go live on YouTube Studio. And then I had it scheduled for 8 o'clock, so I thought it would just automatically go public at 8 o'clock, but kind of as if I, just like I do for my normal drop. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Thank you, Zach. All right, I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get in, and then we will start the fun and games. Um, really hoping the format works here. I want to keep the black and white. Yeah, that's unlisted. If you have the link, you're able to watch it. Like there's no restrictions, but you have to have the link. You can't just browse it on YouTube and find it there. Um, so if you had the link on Twitter, yeah, you'd be able to join. Very exclusive club of people, really. Wait for a few more to join. I mean, honestly, I can start right now, but let's see how many people we can get to bear witness to just one of the worst nights of sporting of sports viewing I've ever had the displeasure of being a part of. Did you read the title? It was the worst. We are reliving the worst night of my life. Right here. This look, the 2023 Braves. Say what you want, cheating, not cheating. I don't think they cheated. We'll see. I mean, let's see. The Astros. Oh, let's put it like this: the Astros scandal broke 2 years, less than 2 years, really, after they won the World Series. I mean, it was either him or like Michael Tonkin coming out in the third. So it was a lose-lose. It pains me so much because I think about if we had Chris Sale in 2023 and if he was pitching game 3 for us, or if, he pitched game 1, moved Max Fried to game 2, and then Spencer Strider game 3. Yeah, I'm there with you, Sweppy. It's one of those where you look at the matchup on the surface, Bryce Elder versus Aaron Nola, and you're like, oh man, I mean, doesn't look good for us Bravos here, but maybe he has one of those miracles in him, kind of like the start he had against the Giants this year, where I think it was a CGSO. I think he did a little counter strike against the Giants this year. You're like, maybe Elder has it in him, like once every 3 months he just bust out this amazing start, but it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, yeah, there's going to be the moment. If you watch this game, the moment. It's the thumbnail, so it's really no surprise there. But God, it was brutal. So we'll get started here in a second. Hoping the black and white works this time. I changed the format around a bit, so we'll see. Y'all are funny. Y'all are really hilarious. I don't know who sent this or who did this, but I just got this in the mail like literally today. Who sent this? That's funny. Like that's funny. Y'all are hilarious. I'm a little concerned y'all have my address. I mean, if you're a Patreon, you should have my address, but that's it's a bit different, but yeah, just really funny, y'all. Really, really funny. So, but you know what? Spring training is about to begin. Let's have some fun here. I don't care what Rob Manfred or any of them have to say. We are here to watch some baseball. What was this game for? The Strider start and this Steeler. Wait a minute. Yeah. Max. Okay, wait a minute. Max Fried started game 2. Did Strider? Because there was just a bunch of off days thrown in between. There was an off day between game 1 and game 2. So I don't know if they used Strider on short. I'm actually blanking if. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Strider pitched game 1. It's just the offense didn't. He pitched well. It's just the offense didn't do anything to back him up. Do you remember the video which you used, Reptilian? Yeah, that was replacing Wright. The grand intro. All right, so let's get started here. Aaron Nola's on the mound against Bryce Elder. Just some context. So game 1, the Braves dropped. They got not shut out, but they got owned by Ranger Suarez, whose soft cutters will just live in my nightmares probably for the rest of my life, even now that he's on the Red Sox. Game 2, we all remember game 2. How optimistic we were. That was the game. It was Zach Wheeler versus Max Fried. Zach Wheeler pitched an absolute gem through 6 innings, but then, classic, 3 times around the order. Travis d'Arnaud, big homer off of him. Austin Riley, huge hit. Braves get the walk-off double play. one of the most exciting ends to a game. Definitely the most exciting end of a game I've ever attended. But maybe one of the most exciting ends just in postseason history, maybe the last 20 years. Michael Harris catching it at the wall and then doubling up Bryce Harper at first. We all remember the comments. It was a stupid controversy in my mind. I kind of think the Braves should have owned it, to be honest. It was Jake Mintz, Cespedes Barbecue. He was working for Fox. I believe he might be with Yahoo now, but he was working with Fox at the time, so he had clubhouse access. He overheard Arcia, just your typical post-game chatter in the clubhouse after a big one. He was just going like, hey, attaboy, Harper, attaboy. That's just common, game speak. I mean, if you're at the Bros, you just had a big win, you're going to talk some smack, especially behind closed doors. I mean, it was very vague what the media availability was, but sort of it lit a flame under the Phillies. I'll just put it like that. Yeah. So this is game 3. Series is tied. We have a 5-game series on our hands, so this is a pivotal game. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd be willing to bet, if I had to guess, in a tied series, whoever takes game 3 takes the series. I would say probably 75% of the time, 80% maybe. Yeah, Strider was hurt in 2022. He did pitch in 2022. He just obviously wasn't right. I mean, his velo was down, way down. He looked good this series, though. It's just the problem was this team couldn't score runs because the calendar flipped to October, got a little bit cooler out, and say what you want about the cheating or whatever, but some of those fly balls that were homers during the summer, when the air is a little bit thinner and the ball just travels more, were just warning track flies. And I think that's the importance of having a dynamic offense, not just being a one-sided offense. I think that's why you see teams, especially now with the rule changes, they value speed more. They value contact a little bit more than they were back in the, rabbit ball days of 2017 through 2019. All right. If you couldn't tell, I'm doing a thing called stalling because I physically don't this. Makes me sick. Watching this game makes me want to gag. I'm actually concerned what my reaction is going to be revisiting. I have not watched I haven't watched a highlight. If I'm scrolling on Twitter or on Instagram or something and I see anything that even remotely looks like a highlight from this game, I skip it immediately and I block the account that posted it. So I haven't gotten a single update from MLB.com in 2 years now. It's bad. This feels like, especially now because of what happened in 2024 and 2025, this feels like it's been all downhill since this game. I wish we could. I don't know. It's been all downhill since then. I hate the Braves. Can't believe that Braves team lost to my Phils. I hate the Braves almost as much as the Mets, but I can't admit that the 2023 was on another level. Also, when Bryce Elder start playoff games didn't help. Yeah, and that's why I mentioned, could you imagine if we made the Chris Sale trade a year earlier and we had him starting game 1, pushing everybody back, and Bryce Elder, thank you. You can go home now. Your services are no longer needed. Which was worse, this or game 1 against the Padres 2024? Having Smith-Shawver start made me sick. He was undercooked. 2024, there was just no way in hell we were doing anything in 2024. I fully went into that series expecting both of them to be bloodbaths. There was literally, I was actually having a good time watching those games because Michael King is one of my favorite pitchers to watch, and seeing him spin sliders and sinkers like nobody's business is one of the just best pleasures of being a baseball fan is getting to watch that man pitch. Yeah, but again, you think about it, as much hype as we want to give the 2023 Braves, they also, like y'all said, we had Bryce Elder starting game 3 of the NLDS. Granted, Charlie Morton, I should mention this too. Charlie Morton was hurt. I think he was expected to come back during the NLCS. I mean, he's like I would consider a big game pitcher, like a guy you trust giving the ball to, especially in 2023. He was solid that year, but yeah. All right, let's get this started. Let me know how the audio is.
Yeah, it was. And
it is so loud in my ear, so I'm gonna turn that down. So Aaron Nola is on the mound. Oh. It's a good one. That's a really good one. The thing is, like, every team would love a Bryce Elder. I love Bryce Elder. You just have to understand, like you said, what you're getting into. When you go to a Little Caesars, you're not going to this fancy place. You're not going to, but as long as you know what you're getting, it's good. I just am going to check, make sure. All right. I'm just going to monitor. I have to have my stream screen on to make sure I don't get a notification that they're about to shut me down. But we should be fine. So if you see me looking over this way, it's because that's just the screen my game's on. Honestly, I wouldn't eat while watching this game if you're a Braves fan. How do y'all think Aaron Nola's contract's going to look once it's over? I will say so much credit to AA for driving up the price of that contract. Because the Braves, I don't have Aaron Nola's contract off the top of my head right now, but the Braves were close. Very close. And the idea that we actually had no intention of signing him, but we just wanted the Phillies to pay more. You gotta love it. Like, that feels like revenge for the last few years. Look, normally I'm very pro player. Uh-oh. There we go. We're good. Normally I'm very pro player, but I think Jordan Montgomery is doing just fine right now. The kind of contract that he got and the numbers he put up since then, oh my gosh. The Diamondbacks are cursed, man. They like, if you're a fantasy baseball player and you see the Diamondbacks give any pitcher more than like $50 million, sell. Just don't even go anywhere near them. Like, even if it's an extension, because I still think Brandon Pfaadt can be a solid 4 or 5 guy. Like, I'm not totally out on Brandon Pfaadt yet, but just another example of, like, as soon as they give anybody substantial money, it's And another thing too, especially with the Rockies video, is that a lot of people don't realize that Phoenix is also at altitude. It's not as drastic as Coors, obviously, but it is something to think about. I mean, they were one of the first teams to introduce a humidor into their stadium back in, I think it was like 2016, 2017.
Riley with a little flare to center. Comes up with his third hit of the series. He's hit in each of the first 3 games. And the Braves have a base runner with 2 outs.
Sorry, nephew. The Braves haven't won a game since this series.
Riley's hands, but he was able to dump it out there for the first hit of the game. And that will give Matt Olson a swing in this first.
The best pitcher contract, Max Scherzer comes to mind. Randy Johnson obviously comes to mind. There's some other. I'm blanking on a lot. I mean, there's actually a lot. You'd be surprised. Like, not all of them have. Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler is perhaps easy hit.
Modified shift on. The shift rules in place this year, of course, but the Phillies still want to get that pull advantage, and that time it cost them. Well, any of these big-time power.
I feel like plenty. I know Baseball is Not Dead just released a video today on the worst 1-year contract or pillow deals, because I'm part of the camp where, you know, people say, oh, there's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal. It's like, well, if you're trying to compete and fill a position of need, like, you want your player to perform, like, sure, yeah, you don't have to worry about paying them beyond that 1 year. But it's like, if you want a guy to perform well and you're in a competitive window, yeah, like, I'm sorry, okay, cool, whatever. You don't have to pay him 2, 3, 4, 5+ years down the line. But if he stinks, he stinks. Yeah, I don't know about Wheeler. We'll know more probably next week, to be honest. You know, thoracic outlet syndrome. I mean, that's kind of stuff that's ended, you know, Steven Strasburg's career. His case is not as severe as Strasburg's, but it's not good. I mean, as a baseball fan, I do genuinely hope Zach Wheeler is able to recover and eventually return to a major league mound. Oh. That's the best shot we got all game. That feels like the closest we got all evening. Oh, man. To be honest, I think I'd rather be doing the 999 challenge. Like, straight up. See, that was just physically painful. This is emotionally painful. This is like that scene. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Like Mike. Stars Lil Bow Wow. Also has Jesse Plemons in it. Jesse Plemons plays the bully. So basically, and also Crispin Glover is in it. But yeah, it's basically about. Hey, you know what? Felder's able to, you know, just. Felder's, like, when Elder's able to locate that sinker in the third quadrant, he's a good pitcher. It's just he does that every month, once a month. He gets to do that once a month. But yeah, anyway, Like Mike, it's basically about this kid who's in a foster home, played by Lil Bow Wow, who finds Michael Jordan's old sneakers and he puts them on, and he gains the powers of Michael Jordan, which even from like a fantastical concept, that doesn't make much sense. Like, Wouldn't it make more sense if he got like Michael Jordan's sneakers from when he was an NBA player? Like not his, you know what I'm saying? Not his childhood sneakers. Obviously, that's a plot hole because he wouldn't be able to fit into them. That'd be too big for his because he was like 10 years old. But yeah, he basically gets Michael Jordan's basketball powers, and he's so good that he joins the NBA. He's playing for, I think is in the movie is the Los Angeles Clippers or a Los Angeles Clippers like team. I'm pretty sure they filmed the game scenes at the Staples Center. But there's this one scene where I think it was Jonathan Lipnicki, actually. I think his friend is played by Jonathan Lipnicki, and they're trying to get information out of him, right? Like they're trying to figure out where Lil Bow Wow is keeping Michael Jordan's shoes. And again, these are all orphans here. Like they're all living in a foster home. Sorry, I need to be double tasking here. I know what happens in this game. I mean, I don't have to like watch every pitch. But yeah, basically, Jonathan Lipnicki, he knows where the shoes are. Crispin Glover, the head of the foster home, who's evil because it's Crispin Glover. He's never played a good guy unless he's in Back to the Future. He wants to know where the shoes are, and so what he does is that throughout the movie, Jonathan Lipnicki has a photo of his mom, just like a little like Polaroid-esque photo of his mom, and that's the only like memory he has of her, right? This one photo, and like that's all he had. That's the only memento. That's the only token. And in the movie, when Crispin Glover is trying to find the shoes, he gets Jonathan Lipnicki. He has Jesse Plemons like hold him back, and he gets the photo of his mom. He has it in his hand, and he's like, "Tell me where Michael Jordan's shoes are." And Jonathan Lipnicki, he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." This man starts burning the photo, the only photo this kid has of his dead mom, to try and find Michael Jordan's shoes. And like, credit to Jonathan Lipnicki, this kid needed a damn Oscar because he was great. I mean, he really sold that performance, and he obviously gives it away because like this is like the only token he has again of his dead mom, because again Crispin Glover is threatening to burn it. God, that's basically that is what watching this game is like for me. Okay, that's the moral of the story here. I also realized too, I do have the score blocked. Most of y'all know. I mean, come on. Most of y'all know. I'll do my play-by-play thing, though. It's a 1-2 count to Trey Turner. There's one out in the inning. 0-0, bottom of the first. All right. I do think Ozuna comes back to the Braves. I hope not. I like how our roster is set up now, even with the Ha-Seong Kim injury. Because I even when Marcell Ozuna was doing well, I don't love having a full-time DH unless it is one of the top 5 hitters in the league. Or top 10 hitters in the league. So when Marcell Ozuna was one of the top 10 hitters in the league in 2024, sure, having him on the roster is a benefit to the team. But even if he's a top 50 hitter, like not top 10, top 50, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it, especially when you have Jurickson Profar, who is, I feel embarrassed watching him in left field. You have Ron Acuna Jr., who just needs days off. This man has 2 surgically repaired ACLs. He needs to get off his feet a few days. And then you have a catcher situation where both of them are full-time caliber catchers, starting caliber catchers. So I really don't see any reason to have Ozuna on the team unless he's explicitly a bench bat. And even then, I'd rather have an Eli White who can play all 3 outfield positions and shortstop and pinch. I'd rather have also obviously Mauricio Dubon. It just clogs up the roster. If we had a 27-man roster, sure, but no. I just would not be a fan. All right. Sorry. I'm so behind on the comments. I was so wrapped up in the like Mike story. PNG Apple. I'll try that in a second. I'll try that during a commercial break. Man. Could have been. To be fair, there are a few things that ended Matt Harvey's career. Merrill Kelly's the only one to really. Yeah. Merrill Kelly's awesome, by the way. I'm a huge Merrill Kelly guy. It's so close to sort of the past 8 years now. At least Anna won one. Bryce Elder's never going to start another playoff game again, right? He shouldn't. Baseball's my religion. Thank you for all the content you work on and share with us. Thank you, Walk Off Grand Slam. I appreciate that. Bryce Elder might not be on the Braves this year. Yeah, I mean, he's out of options, so he has to stay on the Major League roster. So if we sign a starter, if we get a Chris Bassett, if we get Zach Gallen, she gone. But if not, yeah, Bryce Elder will be on the Braves during the 2026 season. The Braves this year, I don't know if it was a free agent or extension, but the Verlander doing 23 was great if you factor the Houston years. Yes. And if, let's say, Scott Harris was GM of the Tigers when they made that trade in 2017, they probably would have gone back a decent prospect package and not a package whose headliner is Jake Rogers. Looks like an intern who ends up having to give a... Bryce Elder looks like an intern who ends up having to give a presentation for the head of the company because no one else is there. That was Bryce Elder during the 2026 season. Like, he was... Everybody else called out sick because they actually were sick. Like, the plague was going around. But he was the only one who got the vaccine, baby, all right? He got that rubber arm, Yeah. Was this the game with the two guys on the roof of CPB? I don't think so. I try to forget this game, so maybe that happened. Patrick Corbin, great pitcher contract. Yeah, I mean, Patrick Corbin, it's just how you view success. Flags fly forever. I mean, the Padres don't win the World Series in 2019 without Patrick Corbin. But he was also the worst pitcher in baseball for the next 3-4 seasons. So I think if you ask a Nationals fan, they would tell you, yeah, you do that contract again 10 out of 10 times. We need to move on from having a DH who can only DH. Yeah, exactly. Especially with the way our roster is constructed. Against righties, Mike Yastrzemski is going to be in left field. We'll have Profar DH because I don't want to see Profar in left field. That one catch he made was awesome. That one catch he made against the Marlins, that was badass. It's not emblematic of the fielder that Profar really is. Wait, what are we doing today? Today we're doing Game 3 of the 2023 NLDS. I want to do Game 6 of the 2021 NLCS. Probably the greatest night of my life in terms of being a sports fan. But my buddy, my guy, LL Heen, was like, oh, well, what about Game 3 of the NLDS 2023? I was like, you know what? If this gets 50 likes, I'll do it. Sure. Give the people what they want. And I got 50 likes. And so I'm fulfilling my end of the bargain here. It's not even a good game. Like, it's not a good win. I mean, it's a blowout. I mean, the Phillies win 10-2. Wasn't really a close game after the hit. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit behind the chat. I just like I said, the whole like Mike rant put me behind. Y'all think Orioles make a dark horse run this year? Oh, yeah, I really, really like the Orioles roster this year. The issue is the AL East is stacked. It's a benefit now, especially for the Orioles having the balance scheduled. I mean, if they had to face the Red Sox, if they had to face Garrett Crochet, 5 or 6 times next year, I legitimately think that would bump them out of a playoff spot. I'm not even kidding. But they'll only have to face them like 2 to 3 times at most. And obviously the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox. I mean, the AL East is without a doubt the best division in baseball yet again. I mean, as same as it always was. Man, sorry, I'm still watching this game, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, the Orioles, I don't think they're in a position to win the division. I do see them as a wild card team, as like a third wild card team. They could have one of the best offenses in baseball. Samuel Basayo. Man, I'm not going to lie. Watching Rockies games, I forgot how many times Orlando Arcia is early on fastballs that he ends up like making pretty good contact on. That happens all the frickin' time. He just gets too excited, man. He just gets a little too giddy. He's like, oh, man, a hittable pitch? Sign me up. And then yeah. It's that heavy, heavy sinker for Norla. Yeah, I like the Orioles a lot this year. Samuel Basayo, Gunnar Henderson he's poised for a bounce back. He revealed recently he was playing through a shoulder impingement, which, like baseball players play hurt. I mean, that's just how you manage pain is a really important aspect of being a professional baseball player. But I think he's going to have a revenge tour type of season. Adley Rutschman, we'll see where he's at right now. I'm not like, he has too much of a track record just from literally his professional days, his days at Oregon. Like, he's too good to be this bad, which I know is a very stupid saying, but it's just how I feel about Adley Rutschman right now. And then, we'll see if Enrique Bradfield Jr. comes up. He might we'll see how he does in spring training. I don't know if they announced their invites yet. He should get an invite. I don't know why not. He's going to be really fun. He's going to really complete that outfield. And then Taylor Ward, I'm always a huge Taylor Ward guy. You want to talk about like oatmeal on rosters. I mean, he's just been a solid bat the last 3-4 years. I would say last year probably will be his career peak season. That probably will be the best season he's had in his career. We'll see, though. I mean, the Orioles have done a good job of getting bats that are tuned specifically to their stadium now. R.I.P. Ryan Mountcastle. I feel for that guy. But, I guess he had to die so Pete Alonso and Taylor Ward could live. Yeah, I like the Orioles a lot. We'll see how long of a leash they give to Kobe Mayo. And then that rotation, I think I'm pretty high on Shane Baz. I know a lot of people were shocked when they saw the package that was given for the Orioles to receive Shane Baz, but he's got some legitimate stuff. I mean, what's funny? When all is said and done, he might end up being the most, just in terms of cumulative production, the most valuable player from the Chris Archer trade, which is crazy to think about. And that's only because I think Tyler Glasnow is a way better pitcher. It's just Tyler Glasnow has unfortunately been hurt basically his entire career. And, in the blink of an eye, he's already like 30 years old. Shane Baz still has the rest of his career in front of him. We'll wait and see. Yeah, I like the Orioles this year. I don't think they're an AL East favorite by any means, but I think they're going to be a serious contender for a wild card spot. So it's feeling the offense should be good, but it's all going to come down to the pitching. The rotations are great, and the bullpen is even scarier. Like I said, I like the pitching. I think people also Kyle Bradish, huge Kyle Bradish guy. I love Kyle Bradish. Keep an eye out for him this year. Maybe one of my favorite pitches is his curveball. A righty with a good curveball, man. Like, maybe it's just because, I got spoiled by Charlie Morton, but that's just one of my favorite archetypes of players. By the way, NMF, if you ever want to use my Bryce Elder comparison, I'm cool with it. I'll definitely credit you. I might use it, but you're definitely going to get the shout for making that, because both the Little Caesars and the only one making a presentation because everybody else got the plague. Spot on. Both are really spot on. Just remember Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario was also a Dodger in 2025 too, which is kind of funny. You think about the Dodgers being this team with endless depth, but they were kind of shallow in the outfield. And yeah, one series I think Ohtani was, I think it was when he was on paternity leave. I don't know, but he played against the Rangers. It was just bizarre. Rays are scary, so nobody knows who they are. Yeah. I mean, obviously we start with Junior Caminero when it comes to the Rays. I haven't. That's the thing. Like, it's funny you say when nobody knows who they are, because I'm just digging through my mind trying to find anything I know of the Rays right now. It's like, yeah, I haven't really paid attention to them this offseason. I know they've, the every hotel room got the Rays chair meme now because they've been literally part of every 3-team trade this offseason when that's always been their thing. But it's just funny that people are. It's just funny that that's a joke. But yeah, I mean, I could probably name more players the Rays traded away this offseason than who are actually on their current roster besides Caminero. All right, so I'm still catching up here. Elder perfect through inning. I think he'll shove today for Rays. Yeah, this is thanks to you, Heen. I don't want to be here right now. I really don't want to be here right now. I'd rather be watching Game 6 of the 2021 NLCS, but I'm a man of my word. This game encapsulates the series in 2024-25 seasons. Bryce Elder pitching in an offense who either chases too much or looks at pitches, end up in the zone. Yeah. Opinion on Yankees outlook this year. I mean, they're running it back pretty much. But you know what? When you have the greatest right-handed hitter of this generation and really since Albert Pujols on your team, you have Garrett Cole coming back. You're getting a full season from Cam Schlittler. Elmer Rodriguez should make some starts this year. They have they have some depth in the farm too. That's something Yankees teams haven't always been great with in the past. Brian Cashman, there's a reason he's had so much job security of the last, forever, pretty much all of our lifetimes. Brian Cashman has been the GM of the Yankees. It's because he's good at his job. I mean, look, say what you want. They haven't won a World Series since 2009. Look, the game gets more competitive with the current playoff format. I mean, you could wind up losing in a 3-game series now. And even NLDS 5-game series. It's more random. He's still one of the best in the industry. It's why he's the longest tenured GM in baseball active right now. But yeah, I think there's a lot of competition now. The AL East is not a cakewalk like it felt like for a few years there in the early 2020s. But I still think they're, I think they're like a tier above the Orioles. I'll just put it like that. In this chat, we got NMF, of course, and ATB. Sorry, I gotta be better at double tasking here. I think we're good. I'll switch to the other screen so I can look at the chat and the game at the same time. Also, anyone hear about the sleeper yet? Oh yeah, Ben Williamson. Yeah, he had a couple good weeks for the Mariners last year. He's a decent infield defender. Honestly, I don't know if they plan to play him at shortstop. Anybody but Taylor Walls. Oh my God. If I was a Rays fan and had to watch Taylor Walls take plate appearances day in, day out, I would pull all of my hair out. I would go bald, pulling all of literally every single strand of hair I have on my head. funny. Same swing, same pitch, same location, different result.
A hustle double puts a Brave at second base with one away.
That's the thing, too. The false hope.
Nola made a great pitch. Acuna did a great job of just shooting it the other way, not trying to pull him.
I mean, Baseball YouTube's favorite troll, Jacob, is saying it best. Bryce Elder got through 2 scoreless innings with little traffic. You just sell yourself on that hopium. That was the cruelest part of this game. You know, if he just sold it in the first inning, okay, whatever. You know, he didn't have his stuff. But this is the worst part. This is the worst part right here. Okay, 1 run though. You got it. You got to get more than 1 run. Bryce Elder, even on a good day, is giving up 3 earned in 5 or 6 innings.
Well, that time first pitch curveball, and Ozzie Albies smoked it to right field. He's the one that got the hit off Wheeler the other day. Granted, it was an error to drive in Ronald Acuna, but you know, so many big hits.
Rosario, looking back at it, Rosario, Arcia Harris is a ref bomb of the order. Yeah, I mean, look. In the aggregate, Rosario was a league average bat this year. Arcia was a league average bat this year. Harris was, I think he was like, had like a 118 WRC plus. I mean, there was a couple stretches during the season where he was like putting this team on his back. But you are right, because there is not an ounce of plate discipline between those 3 hitters. And if you're a smart team, it's like the last time I felt joy watching this team. Yeah, I mean, if you're a team with any semblance of a game plan, you can take them out of the game, just like that. No problem, easy. They need to do a graphic. They need to start doing a graphic where they have the strike zone. They should also have the this is like some nerdy stuff. Like they should do this. Well, they had the ESPN Statcast broadcast, but obviously that's going away because, you know, ESPN's not airing MLB games anymore, or at least the nationally televised games. But they should have a swing tendency. If they don't already, I think they might have actually on the Statcast broadcast. Yeah, show me where these guys chase. That was well hit.
Albies back to first. That's the second out. So talking to Rob Thompson, as you see, good jump here by Rojas. Try to split that gap and had it. And JT Realmuto told me a little bit before the game by the cage show, Aaron Nola, 32 home runs, most he's given up in his career.
There's no way.
Set the pitch clock for him. Yes. From a mechanic standpoint.
1,560 plate appearances for. There's no way. No. God. Look, I'm not going to mention this man's name because he is a pedophile. But, I mean, could you imagine where the Rays would be if Voldemort didn't, you know, diddle kids? I mean, Jesus. That's the cherry on top of it, too. Taylor Walls was not the plan. The plan was one of the only hitters, one of the only prospects to get an 80 grade hit tool, who threw it away because he is a piece of fucking dog shit.
So he's using all of those weapons at his disposal. He made a mechanical fix, and it has changed.
All right, 3-0 count to Matt Olson. Scores 1-0 on an Ozzie Albies single. 2 outs in the inning, top of the third. Again, it is 1-0 Braves at this point. I was ecstatic. It's like we got a rally going on here. Nola hasn't looked too sharp. All right, runners on first and second now. 2 outs in the inning. Ozuna's coming up, who came up with runners on base. The first inning, struck out. But you know what? You wipe the slate clean. You forget about it. Gotta have the memory of a goldfish. Talking about City connecting every day. The Marlins announced their City connects to the old school 90s. I will say I actually do have a throwback Marlins shirt that is that same teal green color. I love those uniforms so much. When I was doing the Gary Sheffield video, I mean that's all I could think about was just how fresh those uniforms were. Braves really confused me last year with how bad they were because it felt like they still had talent but didn't get anything going to make the postseason. Yeah, I mean, you look at it in totality. I mean, yeah, with the last year's team, the assembly of talent was of an 85-90 win team, but again, Acuna was still recovering from his ACL tear. Strider was up and down all season. Chris Sale missed 3 months. Spencer Schwellenbach missed 3 months. We gave like 400 plate appearances to Nick Allen. Marcell Ozuna tore his hip in the middle of the season, and then he was like making it work for a while because nobody knew that he tore his hip and he was still getting on base. And then for some reason, Alex Anthopoulos was like, oh, by the way, Marcell Ozuna tore his hip, so pitchers, you can just start stuffing the zone against him because he only has like 1 or 2 swings per at bat in him because it hurts. It physically hurts him to swing a bat. That was weird. I don't know why we made that public information unless like Ozuna's agent wanted to like get in front of it or something, but that was odd. All right, it's an 0-1 count to Marcell Ozuna. 2 outs in the inning. Runners on first and second. You know what? He gave that call to Elder. I can't. If the umpire's consistent, that's all I really care about. Unless it's like egregiously bad, like if they're in the waste zone or something like that, or in the chase zone or something like that. But if it's in the shadow zone and it's a borderline call and they're consistent about it, whatever. You know what? Go off. 0-2 count to Ozuna. So game 2022 game. I'm not watching. No, we're not doing 2022. We're not. I'm stopping the buck there. 1-2 count to Ozuna. Steps off. I don't think they'll miss the postseason this year, but we'll see. I enjoy watching them as an Astros fan. I could see why you would enjoy. The Astros did sweep us in 2023. And I believe we took 2 out of 3 at Minute Maid or Daikin, whatever it's called now, in 2024. And then I was checked out by the time they came to Truist last year. I could imagine you enjoyed watching whatever that was when they came to town last year. Love this guy's videos, even though I despise the Braves. Mets fan here. Hey, man, the Mets community loves me. And you know what? I love the Mets community. I hope y'all know. Yeah. That was it. It's the end of my innocence. I guess let me actually read some comments real quick. Yeah, but I love my Mets fans on here. Replacing Wright was one of my favorite videos to make, and I'm so glad it resonated with so many of you. It was like quite the ride. Him and Caminero back to back to play is scary in another universe. Rays got screwed with Voldemort. They made the Oh yeah, still on. I'm way back. I gotta keep up. I might have to skip a few comments just so y'all know, but let's see how many I can get through. Rays got screwed with Voldemort. They made the playoffs with he who should not be named once or twice. Yeah. I mean, talk about it, a generational talent who threw it all away for nothing, and it's just, and it's a stain on the game too. I mean, I'm actually like I'm really just solely a baseball fan here. I mean, I'm obviously going to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow, but it is funny like what I hear from other sports just through like general cultural osmosis. Like I can obviously name like 10 NBA players. I can name the big guys. But, if I heard somebody like, Wembayana, is that how you say his name? The guy on the Spurs. If he did something like that, like it would change the way I think about the NBA just a little bit. Not a lot, but just would kind of like, oh, so like that's what's going on in that league. Okay, noted. Even I saw the story where Giannis from the
Way back into left field, and we are tied just like that.
this is where it starts. Is that a okay?
Yeah, this is one of those sinkers up right here that Castellanos gets and turns on it, running in on him a little bit.
I mean, it's like Castellanos is an aggressive swinger.
Those pitches were down in the zone. That one up, and if you actually go back to September,
I mean, you leave a sinker up to Castellanos. Yeah, of course he's gonna hit it 400 feet. Okay, just get it down. Just get it down, big guy. Just get it down. Oh, man. I mean, just right in the inside of the barrel. Does Ozuna win the award for most unhinged swing, at least of players who still play? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I like that question a lot. The most unhinged swing. I'm trying to think of other players who just, because I was talking about this the other day for the Rockies game, warming Bernabel's swing, where I was confused because I could have sworn just by looking at swing, like, dude's got a ton of bat speed. Like, I was like, oh, this guy like must be, 75 miles per hour constantly. No, he actually swings the bat fairly slow. It's just because of how like violent his mechanics are and how violent his path is, where it's like, I don't say his path is. I mean, it's still obviously straight. You got to be straight to the ball. That's why I was like, there's so much going on there. That's why I thought it's like, oh, he's quick to the ball. He's swinging 75 plus miles per hour. Because even, I mean, Bryce Harper, in my mind, has like a pretty violent swing for a lefty. Normally, when you think of a lefty, you think of like, the Ken Griffey Juniors, those guys with that smooth, perfect follow through. But Bryce Harper, there's just so many like moving parts with his swing. Same with Ozuna. Ozuna's, again, another really good example. Just going through guys. I feel like there's a guy on the Angels who's got like a really, really violent swing. To me, Ketel Marte from the left side is like another one of those. Like from the right side, it's like almost Mike Trout light. He's just so like quick to the ball. It's just so simple and fluid. And then from the left side, it's like he's an animal. I mean, especially like his back foot. It's like basically like on home plate by the time he's done with his follow through. Johan Rojas is the Fernando Mendoza of Jeff Matheson's. Yeah, the owners own, it's Liberty Media. It's the only publicly traded company. And technically, it's not Liberty Media anymore. It's Braves Holding. They restructured, but it's it's a publicly traded company. You could buy shares in the Braves if you wanted to, and it's funny because they have to release their quarterly earnings, and it's just every time, every quarter they come out, it's like, oh wow, this team is making money hand over fist. And again, I think the Braves, like, they're still top 10 in payroll. I mean, they're not cheaping out by any means. I mean, they're not going after the big fish such as Kyle Tucker, the Shohei Ohtanis. I mean, there just is like a realm of player right now that in the current system we just have to accept most of the league is out on. You know, the Cincinnati Reds couldn't get a Kyle Tucker. They could get a Kyle Schwarber if they wanted to. They tried. They were close. The Braves owned the Reds last year, and those games frustrated me a lot to watch as a Reds fan. Yeah, the Braves have taken the Reds to the back of the barn a few times. Oh man, I just, when like something's coming, like you're watching like an old video of yourself like tripping on some ice or something, like like the moment is about to hit, or it's like you're watching like your favorite show. Is a probably more apt way to put it and less revealing way to put it, but you're watching your favorite show and you're just kind of hoping like a character does something different this time. Like, it's not going to happen. You've seen it thousands of times. You know how the story ends. You just hope like, oh man, what if they did something just that made this one, said the right thing here, or did the right thing, and they don't, and you start yelling at your screen and you feel like an idiot because nothing's going to change. Mariners community love you. So true Mets community. Oh my gosh. Oh. Was it? What?
Might have been a little bit off the plate, but when you're a two-seamer like that, it comes back like that. It usually, if the catcher doesn't
Ah.
you can get that pitch.
What the hell? I didn't get a warning here. What the hell? Okay, wait a minute. What? Okay, that's so weird. I didn't even get a warning. I got an email from YouTube. That's it. Okay, that's so weird. Yeah, it looks like we're back, but okay, I might have to fix some things. We might have to go back to the saturation. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. Oh, it looks so bad. Okay. That's I didn't like, even on YouTube Studio, I didn't get a notification. It didn't tell me that the stream was interrupted. Okay. So, yeah, looks like we are back. Oh boy, how long was I gone for? Oh no. I was just rambling, y'all. I had no idea. I was speaking to myself here. I was talking to a wall. Okay, I'll wait for everybody to come back. We're back though. You're at the right place if you want to be here. I don't know why you would if you're a Braves fan. If you're a Phillies fan, yeah, like, come right ahead. Doors open. Oh, it's terrible. 5 minutes. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. That's not too bad. I literally I'm not even kidding. I did not get, I was looking at the stream. I didn't get a notification that we were in trouble. It didn't even tell me that we were off. It just literally, I got an email. That was it. All right. Well, we'll go for saturated for a while. Maybe we can go back to black and white because we did make it pretty far. I mean, we didn't miss the good part. So, yeah. Yeah, unhinged swings. I feel like there's like a guy in the A's, like not Colby Thomas, but all right, let's get back to the game. We should be fine now. So
Braves stranded two in the top of this inning after after the run scored. Now Elder with a man on, and Turner fouls it back. High fastball. 2-2 the count now. Working all.
Well, Zach, I mean, you saw the note I got from somebody. I mean, I don't. Rob can be anybody. I don't know who Rob is. That could be, you know, Rob Thomas, Rob Lowe, Rob McElhaney. I mean, there's a ton of Robs out there. He could have been sending me whatever this is. Oh man, hey. Oh nope. Okay. All right. Let's see. I might have to. Wait, we're back. Don't worry. We're about to be back. We're about to be back. All right. All right. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just come on. Come on. Come on. Guess I can drink some beer. Oh, okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I think we're back. We should be. Okay, thank God. Okay, so what if we just spent the rest of the time looking at Sal Frelick's Fangraphs page? Does that sound like anybody's cup of tea? We just Sal Frelick, anybody? Milwaukee Brewers right fielder. Talking about unhinged swings. I wouldn't put him in there, but he is also a really good ball player. Kind of Brett Gardner type, you know, small, scrappy. I mean, like just pound for pound. You want to talk about somebody with like guns on both sides. No, we'll try this one more time. Okay, so that did not work. So yeah, honestly, Zach, I'm probably gonna end up doing that actually. So just anybody who's still here after all this time, for you know, we're going to try to get through here, but in the future, I probably will start doing more regularly patron only Discord streams. That's probably how I will handle these in the future. So, if you're not subscribed to my Patreon, it is $3 a month. You know, if you have that money, I would. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. $5 a month will also get you super shout outs as well as access to my asset library. But $3 a month, we'll start doing patron exclusive streams on Discord because that's probably safer, as Zach says here, than just being out in the open where, you know, anybody can just snipe me from any distance. So we're going to try this one more time. You know what though? I think it's the universe trying to tell me something. I don't think the universe wants me to relive this moment. It's like, hey, you could be watching Game 3 of the 2023 NLDS, one of the worst viewing experiences of your life, or you could look at Sal Frelick's Fangraphs page. Now why am I looking at Sal Frelick's Fangraphs page? Well, so for my Rockies video, there's going to be a point in it where I'm going to do a fantasy draft. And if you heard me go on the spiel the other day, then you can listen to like some Bad Bunny or like put music on in another headphone. But I'm going to do a fantasy draft where if you ever played MLB The Show franchise mode, you can totally reset the rosters and draft the team that you want. And I'm going to put on my GM hat and ask myself, what kind of player would succeed in a Rockies uniform? And, my biggest thing right now is outfield defense and contact. I want guys who make just boatloads of contact playing in cores. But I need outfield defense as a must. Like, I need a Pete Crow Armstrong-esque guy in the outfield who can make a lot of contact. So obviously not Pete Crow Armstrong. So that's why center field, I'm kind of thinking Jacob Young. But I was thinking about my corners. You look at Sal Frelick. He makes a lot of contact. Like, this is honestly, he's the type of guy would look really good in a Rockies uniform. He's got decent range. He's a little bit smaller, so I just kind of worry about how his range will change. Like how if he'll be diminished as he grows older. He just loses a little bit of athleticism. He's still super young though, so I think we're fine. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Ernie Clement would be awesome on the Rockies. It's really funny. So I was watching when they played the Blue Jays in August, and I didn't look at any of the scores. I was totally checked out on Rockies baseball during the season. I'm trying to go into this as like a fresh fan, and I remember thinking, oh my God, if you put the Blue Jays hitters on the Rockies, they would bang. This is a roster that is like made for Coors Field. They scored 45 runs over 3 games. Let me repeat that. 45 runs over 3 stinking games. Yeah, no, like, I'm looking at guys like Ernie Clement. I'm looking at plenty of Blue Jays because they would absolutely just kill at Coors. All right, let's try this again. I don't even know at this point. I feel like they are fully on me right now. Let me just do a couple things real quick. Let me just make sure. I feel like the cops are on me right now, and I gotta let the heat die down. You know who's a good ball player? Joey Gallo, the best two-way player. That is Jose Bautista erasure. Also, yeah, so somebody mentioned Michael Lorenzen. I actually forgot that he signed with the Rockies. Why not just make him a two-way player? What is there to lose at this point? Like, you designate him as a two-way player. Right now on their depth chart, their DH is like... Who's their DH right now? It's because Jake McCarthy's in right field. Mickey Moniak is their DH currently, who's going to platoon with Will Krim, or Blaine Krim. Sorry, Blaine Krim. Like, what is there to lose making Michael Lorenzen a two-way player and just like seeing what he does? I mean, I know he's a little bit older. He's probably still taking batting practice during the off season. He's ready. You know what I'm saying? This man is ready for that call. When Paul De Podesta is like, hey man, we're thinking about making you a two-way player this year. They can call it like it's Lotani. You can call him Michael Lotani. Like this is perfect. I don't just like, look, y'all are going to lose 120 games this year. Why not have some fun with it? Sorry. I don't know if y'all could tell. I've been watching Rockies games nonstop still. I mean, just so you know, whatever, if you were in the live stream on Thursday night, that was my life. That has been my life for the last 2 weeks. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to be a watchdog on this right now, trying to get us through. Okay. The scary part is, at least on Thursday, I got a warning. They're not even giving me a warning anymore. They're just like, "Hey, we're shutting you down." So, let's see how this works.
3-2. Turner on the ground. Backhand. There'll be no play on Turner. It'll be an infield hit. It was a great play by Arcia. He saves a run, but Turner legs one out. And the Phillies,
You know, it'd be funny if I'm actually have somebody right now who's like calling MLB headquarters and telling them, "Hey, there's this kid." Okay, I'm 28. I can't call myself a kid anymore, but there's this 28-year-old man who's illegally streaming baseball games right now. You need to shut his shit down.
it's got to be right at somebody. That gets by Arcia. Marsh is going to score easily.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
First and third now with 2 outs, and Harper coming up.
So runners on first and third. Two outs. I forgot there was 2 outs in the inning.
Harper on the first pitch fouls it away.
Okay.
Harper homered in game 1.
Sinker down.
2 for 2.
Sinker down. You can't. I mean, like, this man's over a curveball right now, like white on rice.
Atlanta in his career. Had a great division series against Atlanta last year.
It's fine. I mean, look, we've established that this Rob fella may or may not know where I live. Well, he does know where I live. He literally sent this directly to my address. So, yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies threat with 2 outs. Nice play.
I mean, at this point,
Breaking ball in the dirt.
Alec Bohm was hitting cleanup.
Marsh from scoring, but Turner stays put at first base.
Like, you don't want to load the bases in any situation.
2 balls and a strike to count. Good job by Darno.
I mean, that was nowhere close. There's kind of, it's like that magnet, you know, where like you're either missing way out of the zone or you're throwing it right down the middle.
And there's a high fly ball. Deep right field. Harper watches it fly.
You know what, Heen? I have dreams about this homer too. No matter how many times I try to talk about it with my therapist, they just won't go away. Well, you know what? There's our answer. If he walked Harper, Alec Bohm would have gone a 2-run single anyway. So.
The Phillies, 5 hits in this third inning. And Rick Kranitz on his way out. Bryce Harper. An electrifying moment here, a 3-run blast to put the Phillies in front. He has done it.
Miss playing the Braves in the playoffs because apparently we just shit the bed against everyone else now. That's just it's the old adage, you know. The Phillies own the Braves own the Mets, and the Mets own the Phillies. Like, that's just, no matter which way you try to. No. Okay. Okay. Damn. Yeah. Damn. I just, yeah. Okay. Oops. Wait, where do I have the game? Do I have the game on? Oh, is it literally? Oh. Oh, I should say.
Bone single there, up in the zone. And again,
Okay. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, this apple is going to be our last line of defense. Um. Yeah. So I will say, moving on, whenever I do live streams where I'm showing the game physically on my stream, this one I think is different because it is a playoff game. I just there's just more eyes on it. But moving forward, if I were to do this again, which I love doing this, y'all are awesome. I'm having a great time here. I'm not like making any money off of this or anything. I just genuinely love. I'm doing it for the love of the game. So again, for me to do this in the future, I will do other live streams. I probably we'll see, because I mean I'll probably live stream season prediction, some stuff like that. I am enjoying this a lot. I want to do this more, but this to do this again to show the game on my screen, I am gonna have to just do a Patreon exclusive Discord stream. So again, Patreon.com, no more fielders, just $3 a month. We will do these. I'm very excited about streaming in the future. I have a lot of fun doing this, and it's just great connecting with y'all. This Apple, again, last line of defense here. If this doesn't work, we are done. It's not happening. It's just not meant to be. So, like I said, Patreon.com, no more fielders, $3 a month. We will stream games together in the safety of a Discord call. Because unfortunately, this is it's too hot right now. All right, it's too hot. So this will be just if you're in here right now, if it shuts down, safe to assume that's it for the night. But thank you all for joining. This Apple right now is this is our last line of defense. If this doesn't work, then we're calling it for the night. So let's keep going, see how far we can get. But in case I get interrupted, in case I disconnect from y'all, just thank you for joining. Have a great night. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. All right. Here we go. Let's do this.
I talked about it. This part, you can see a 3-4 run swing so quick, and that's the thing. The Braves bullpen is not losing.
I mean, at this point, you can barely see the game. I mean, it's just like we're really pushing the limited aspect ratio of our sport to its limit right now.
In a hurry. 3 of the 4 runs coming on one swing of Harper's bat with 2 outs as Stott takes the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's funny if you wanted an accurate representation of just my mental state. I pretty much checked out after the Harper homer, so it actually is very accurate to what I was going through at the time. Yeah, Alec Boehm immediately ropes a single to left field. We have so he's on first. 2 outs still.
I would imagine one way or another this is Elder's last hitter right here. Elder took something off there, went with a changeup. Castellanos started it with a homer, and then Harper with the 3-run blast.
Just wish I could go back in time and switch that curveball to Harper with that changeup to Stott. How different my life would be right now. It's a frustrating part about Elder. I mean, look, we know who he is. I mean, he's the guy who throws a 92-mile-per-hour sinker in the year of our Lord 2026. Mm.
Stott is aboard. The line keeps moving, and now the Phillies bring their 9th batter of the inning to the plate.
And he's a great guy too. I mean, that's, you know, let's not forget that. It's huge part of this team's you know, clubhouse dynamic. But he's out of the game. Just leave him with him. 2 runners on, first and second with 2 outs. Hey, you know what? At this point, it's still a 3-run game. Okay? Aaron Nola hasn't looked sharp. He's had traffic on every inning.
Elder is out, and Michael Tonkin is in with 2 on and 2 away here, Jeff. Well, for Elder, we said the key was
That's the thing, too. I mean, we have Michael Tonkin. We're leaving Bryce Elder. I mean, look, as much as we talk about the 2023 Braves, how great they were, how do you expect to win a playoff game with Bryce Elder starting, and then his emergency relief option is Michael Tonkin?
after the home run, a single and a walk. First and second, Real Muto takes the ball. Tonkin's got a little bit of that crossfire with the fastball, trying to rise it up.
I don't know. I feel like for Bryce Elder to become the next Charlie Morton, he has to learn how to throw 97 and also have one of the most devastating curveballs of all time. All right, let's talk some more violent swings. I'm
Great power to all fields, JT Real Muto.
I wouldn't say Brandon Marsh has a violent swing. It's just he looks violent when he's swinging, but there's a difference there. Pirates Charlie Morton. Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like, again, I'm not like, how do I put this? When I saw Charlie Morton pitch in 2012 or 2013 when he was on the Pirates, I would not expect him to become the pitcher he became with the. Yeah, he's not catching that. Yep. I wouldn't. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's the thing. That's that everybody remembers the Harper home run, but that was the real backbreaker there, and that's when I realized this team just unfortunately doesn't have the sauce. We just didn't have the pitching to get us through. And no, we're still good. Sorry, I just false alarm. The fact that Tonkin was our emergency relief option. I mean, again, would Charlie Morton being on this roster have made a difference? I think so. But yeah, I mean, if Charlie Morton in 2012, 2013, I would not have expected him to become the pitcher he became in 2019, 2018 when he was with the Astros and the Rays. So I'm not like him doing that alone was absurd. That's what I mean. I wasn't trying to like shoot that point down or anything. I'm just Charlie Morton just basically like became like he went from a caterpillar to a butterfly. But I do agree Bryce Elder has a role as what Charlie Morton should have become if he didn't go through the Astros pitching lab when they were like, wait a minute, you can throw 96 miles per hour up in the zone. Why are you throwing these 92, 93 mile per hour sinkers?
You almost feel like if you're a manager, you'd rather have your pitcher kind of maybe struggle a little bit for 2 innings, but get out of it because maybe you're more prepared to have.
This is so dumb. I love the apple on the screen. That's so goofy. It's so stupid. I should have played around with that actually. Okay, you know what? We're gonna try one more stream on YouTube because I have some ideas. If this apple works, I have some ideas for the future. I want to get dumber. I want to put some dumber stuff on the screen.
They are rocking and rolling here in Philadelphia now after their Phillies put a 6 spot on the board in the bottom of the 3rd. Bryce Harper.
We're getting a violent swing video now. I mean, there's a video there, I think, because I do want to do more videos about some of my favorite player archetypes. That's what the power hitting catcher video was, and just examining those guys throughout the years, because that's just a fun way to look at baseball. And I feel like I could do like the most violent swings of all time, sort of joint. Carlos Gomez had a violent swing too. And I'm not just talking with the bat.
Well, and this is where if you're Rob Thompson, Nola 55 pitches, you got a 6-1 lead. You want him to start filling up that strike zone. You want him to get you into that 7th inning.
You could kind of make the argument Kyle Bradish. Not really. I'm just naming names here. Agustin Ramirez as well. Juan Uribe, yes. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about the guy who's like tries to get the most juice out of his body, a guy like Juan Uribe. I still want to make that Juan Uribe video one day. I just need an angle. Replacing, I actually did do replacing Biggio. It was a short because it was like, again, Craig Biggio and then Jeff Keppinger and then Jose Altuve. It was a pretty short path to replacing Biggio. So it is on the channel, by the way. If you go in my shorts, I don't have many and they're not great, but I do have replacing Biggio. I remember watching Craig Biggio's 3,000th career hit live, and I loved him trying to stretch into a double. That was just such a great memory as a kid watching baseball, because I was like so like, you know, that's not like a true sicko thing to watch a man get his 3,000th career hit, but I remember I was like so locked into it, and I started freaking out when I saw him round first. It was just great memories. Forgot, was Jesse Chavez in the pen for this game? Having follow-up Elder would have been absolute cinema. Was Jesse Chavez? He should have been, unless he was hurt. I know you did a replacing Jeter, but do you ever do a replacing A-Rod? Saw some tweet of all different opening day third basemen the Yankees have had. That would be fun. I will say, by the way, everyone in this chat, please check out I Like Numbers, his channel. Discovered him a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago at this point. Really, really, really good baseball analysis. I'm really looking forward to everything he does. But to answer your question, I will say it's going to be a while until I do another Yankees video. I just, having done 2 replacing Yankees players, there's certain beats that I'm kind of sick of talking about at this point. Like, I just don't think I could go through discussing the 2017 ALCS again or the 2019 ALCS, because then I also had the Astros rotation video. So there's just a few beats that unfortunately I feel like I've kind of beat into the ground. So it's probably going to be a while till I do any Yankees related video. The next replacing will be replacing Griffey. I want to get it out on opening day this year, which I think is possible. I have a lot going on. I'm getting this Rockies video out. Hell yeah. I love seeing the love here. But same thing with Mets too, with replacing Mike Piazza. Just, I know it's a little bit different, but just doing replacing right. I want to expand the scope of teams somewhat. But replacing Griffey should come out soon. I'm gonna get I gotta get Twitter Blue. Unfortunately, as much, I'm gonna get it for a month. I'm literally doing it for this one reason and then immediately canceling it. But Mike Cameron, his DMs are open if you have Twitter Blue, and I'm gonna try to just reach out to him and see if I can interview him for it, because that would be awesome. Mike Cameron, I loved him as a player, love him as a person too. It would be such a cool moment to interview him. So hoping that can happen. If not, I'm still going to do it. It's not going to prevent me from doing replacing Griffey, but I'm super excited because I like talking about positive situations more than negative situations, even though I know like negative situations sell more. You want to see the disasters. You want to see the Glaber Torres' 2021 season, or IKF's 2022 season, or Anthony Volpe's 2025 season. You want to see the disaster pieces, but I much prefer talking about how a team successfully replaces a legend. I enjoy doing replacing Ripken so much for that reason. But the Mariners have, as bad of a team they've been since Griffey. Besides 2001, I'm not talking about 2001. Since then, how bad of a team they were since 2002, because they were good in 2002 as well. Similar to the Orioles, like that's always been a position of strength for them. I can't wait to talk about Franklin Gutierrez. He's a sicko. And then obviously, Mike Cameron, and then eventually the J-Rod. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm going to talk about some fun ball players, and I'm hoping to drop it opening day. I'm hoping the Mariners have a huge season this year. They were so tragically close to the World Series. Just everything that fan base has been through, and one gut punch after another for their season to end the way it did. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even fathom. Replacing Roy Halladay for the Phillies or the Blue Jays. I do want to do a replacing video for an ace pitcher. I don't know how I would. I would have to set limitations, because I would have to do like opening day starter, but then there's a difference between an ace and your team's opening day starter. I don't know. I do want to do, because I do want to do replacing big unit one day, especially given the Arizona Diamondbacks just issues with handing any money to starting pitchers and just their arms immediately imploding or them being ineffective. Madison Bumgarner, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery, Corbin Burns. It's awful. It's just awful. But I would love to make a video like talking about Brandon Webb too. Brandon Webb was so good for a couple years back in the mid 2000s. But yeah, do you know Kevin Gausman has never started opening day with Toronto? Now I'm trying to think who their opening day starters would have been. Because definitely there's no way Jose Barrios started an opening day for them. There's no way. My goodness, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, he's been with the team since what 2022, so it's 4 opening days. I am doing a replacing Schmidt one day. Don't you worry, Heen. It's going to happen. I don't know when. I actually want to go to a Phillies game dressed like pretty much like how I'm dressed now in Braves gear and interview Phillies fans the same way I did for replacing Ripken, because their reactions would be hilarious. And I would come there and jest too. Like, I'm going to be genuine. I'm not going to try to like, pull a fast one on them. Like, I want to get their genuine answers. It's just weird because, Alec Boehm his situation is up in the air. I don't even know how many years he has left in arbitration now. I want to say 2. So I just have to like really, really do it at a point where I'm confident who their third baseman is going to be the following season. Because I don't want to like make a video that ends with, oh yeah, this Alec Boehm guy. Like, I think I would wait for Aiden Miller to come up before I do replacing Schmidt. So that might be a few years down the line. That reminds me, I love the audio used for Justin Verlander clip montage on the Astros video. So good. Oh yeah, wasn't that I think that was like a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover or something like that. I know that video didn't do super well in terms of numbers. I don't really think about it often. I thought it was an alright video. I actually enjoyed it a lot, but yeah, I haven't thought about the Astros video in a while. I assume Mariners, but you would make the argument for the Reds, considering they haven't had an amazing center fielder since, aside from 2013 since Choo. Yeah. Oh, definitely Mariners. Yeah. Because that's the thing with the replacing series. The first 6 installments of it. Installments. That sounds so pretentious saying that. But the first 6 installments of replacing, I want it to be guys who were on the team lifetime, like guys who retired with said team. And now, replacing Ripken was number 6. I'm going to move on to guys who moved on. And I'm really excited because I get to compare what Griffey's replacements did next to Ken Griffey Jr. And that gives me just so many different opportunities for narratives and storytelling. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm really excited, especially to build that chart for replacing Griffey. It's yeah. My camera interview would be legendary. Yeah, I'm going to get Twitter blue for it. So hopefully he appreciates the hustle and responds. Braves Brad Hand. My mind forced him out of my mind. The only memory I have of Brad Hand on the Braves is one of the all-time, I think the moment that endeared a lot of Braves fans to Brandon Gaudin. The Hand relieves Johnson and Miles Mastrobuoni is at the plate. The Braves broadcast situation is very up in the air right now. It looks like they're trying to launch their own TV network, which long term is just huge. I mean, that, like, you want to know the real secret, how the Dodgers were able to spend the way they do. Well, it's there's a lot of reasons for it, but one of them is the fact that they owned their own broadcasting rights, and they basically make money, I mean, hand over fist, through basically not having to outsource their TV revenue or TV production and assets to another company. Maybe Longoria, not really too much in the way of Rays. Yeah, Rays would be awesome. I would love to cover the Rays in a replacing video, and Longoria would be the perfect fit for it. And then also too, assuming Junior Caminero sticks at third base, we'll see where his defense lands him. Just great ending point too. That's the thing. I like having an ending point. I don't like ending it up in the air. That's what I think made replacing Chipper so just feel like a complete product because, you know, we know Austin Riley is going to be the Braves' third baseman for the long haul. He's not just like a stopgap. Wait 10 years and then do a replacing video on Clayton Kershaw. Again, that one's just it's weird because Kershaw arguably wasn't the ace on the squad. Like that's okay. Maybe the better way to put it is, when did Clayton Kershaw stop being the ace of the Dodgers? Again, you could say when he wasn't an opening day starter. Well, you know, he was injured a couple years. I really do want to do starting pitchers for the replacing series. I just have to like kind of rethink the way I do the replacing series. But I'm definitely open to the idea. Jose Barrios started 3 opening days for the Blue. Oh my God. and then Manoah getting 23. That makes sense. Kevin Gossman is the Jose Ramirez of the Blue Jays pitching staff when it comes to getting opening day starts. Maybe like a replacing rotation would be hard, but a Braves trio replacing or mid-2010s Giants starting rotation. I like that. I like that too. I know what I would name it necessarily. By the way, I gotta be honest. I've been checked out to watching the actual game. Y'all are just giving me like these fantastic questions and just letting my mind erase here. So I appreciate it. And I mean, it's just the Aaron Nola show. And historically, Aaron Nola has just dominated the Braves. I mean, I've seen this story before. I've been watching this since 2018. God. Maybe like a replacement rotation. Like a team within the league. Okay, yeah. This is Bohm's final year. Okay. Yeah, so I might have to wait on replacing Schmidt. It will come out at some point, and it will be glorious. It's going to be a 2-hour video, and I'm going to revel in it. But I just let's wait for Aiden Miller, assuming he takes the job at third base. Stay solace while you're watching the video. As a Mets fan, want the Mets Braves game at Truist, where the Braves swept and took control of the division in 2022. Oh no! Oh man, that was. I can't even imagine experiencing that weekend as a Mets fan. As a Mets fan in Truist. I love the Braves. I love my team. I'll be the first one to say we're not necessarily the best fan base, especially when it comes to like treating visitors. It's not as bad as some other fan bases, but yeah, no, that was brutal. That was a great weekend for me though. Oh my gosh. I remember I was at the Earl, which is a local venue in Atlanta. Actually, fun fact about the Earl. So it's funny to me. This isn't more. It's funny as a Braves fan, you forget what is nationally recognized. I just love the locality of baseball. Like you kind of feel like it's like you have your own little club that you share with a lot of people. But there's people who have their own little clubs, and there's like inside jokes that come along with them. But Spencer Strider every year does. Well, not Spencer Strider. The Braves do a vinyl giveaway. They give away 3 different singles from Atlanta local bands picked personally by Spencer Strider, and they do a post-game show in the Battery afterwards. I mean, it's awesome. I just as the touring musician baseball YouTube guy, it makes me emotional that we have that. We have a player who's also an indie music nerd, and they do this promotion and they have a local show at the Battery, during the give or after the giveaway. But this year they also, on top of that, had a show at the Earl for the Spencer Strider giveaway. And, like if you were, in East Atlanta Village that night and we're like, oh, let's, what's going on at the Earl? Let's see what's going on. You would have just been hanging out with Spencer Strider. Like he literally would have been just because seen him at the bar. And yeah, he's awesome. I'm so glad we have that as Braves fans. What was I saying? Let's see. Oh, I was at the Earl when the Braves swept the Mets in 2022. I just remember like between sets, like looking at my phone and just smiling like an idiot. I think it was game 2 of the series because I believe it was a Saturday night. Yeah, it should have been a Saturday night. There's Romero, Morrow, Dickey, Stroman, Estrada, Sanchez, Happ, back to Stroman, Ryu, Gosman with 1 year of Manoa. I like that. I like that. I might consider, especially I feel like Roy Halladay hasn't been in the YouTube space covered nearly enough. Also, too, like to be a pitcher from like who grew up in Colorado or specifically like the Denver area, like just you are extra hard there. I mean, you are like you do not mess with somebody who has an amateur pitched in the Rocky Mountains. Yeah. Replacing Team 22, replacing the Expos. Was Chip Carey stay in the Braves booth? I was a Chip Carey defender for the longest time. Brandon Gaudin made me hate Chip Carey because he made me realize how much we were missing out on, and I just think he brought a fresh voice to the Braves booth that in my mind was desperately needed. I felt like it became a bit stale, especially with Joe Simpson moving to the radio broadcast. I think Brandon Gaudin was much needed, and every time I hear Chip announcing on Cardinals highlights, I'm like, man, I really don't miss him. Oh man, replacing Votto is going to be fun because like they have Sal Stewart already. I don't know how much I would actually talk about. Let's see, Christian Encarnacion Strand. That always makes me sad when there's a guy who's a highly touted prospect who just immediately gets instantly overshadowed by somebody else, like not even a year after they debut. With the Rockies, it happened with Drew Romo and Hunter Goodman. Drew Romo was like catcher of the future for the Rockies, like this is the guy, and then Hunter Goodman just usurped the shit out of him. Imagine if the Braves were able to land Nola, how the course of the NL East would have changed. Yeah, I mean, I would have really helped them last year, that's for sure. Sweppy, if Aaron Nola, or sorry, if Bryce Elder is the Little Caesars of pitchers, then what is Aaron Nola in that case? What's something that's like inconsistent, like when it? I don't want to call Aaron Nola inconsistent though, because he actually has been. It's year to year variance. I think what makes replacing Schmidt so interesting is that you have to go so far back. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's I would love. I mean, I'd love to do like a replacing Williams one day, like replacing some of the best players of all time. I do try to tend towards either more up the middle or at least valuable positions. That's would be my one caveat with doing replacing Williams. Like not even just the. Not even the scope of the video itself, but it's a lot easier to find a corner outfielder than it is a center fielder, shortstop, or even a third baseman. Maybe you can frame it like you did the Joe Mauer for an ace pitcher. Just treat the ace as a roll and watch it get past it. Yeah. That's how I would do it if I were to do a replacing Kershaw. And it would be fun to cover, the conversation of him not being their opening day starter, if considering if he's healthy or not. Because that's pitchers take pride in that. A guy like Kershaw, like he wants to be the ace. Even if you know, again, as he got older, he's a team player, of course. I mean, you know, I think he was happy. Oh, there we go. Yep.
Look at the stare down of Orlando Arcia. So Arcia not paying attention, but yep, that was Arcia's quote.
I'm sorry. That's a great post. Okay, look.
Orlando Arcia. So Arcia not paying attention, but yep.
That's a great poster. No, I got to give it to Phillies fans there. They cooked with that one. That's great. That's really good. That's
That was Arcia's quote.
yeah. Phillies fans 1, Braves fans 0.
Harper got doubled up to end game 2. Don't think Bryce Harper's not paying close attention. Players of his ilk, they're always looking to get an edge. And apparently Harper has found one in the Brave shortstop. Yeah, you don't ever want to fuel the fire.
Your hat was in the ring. Stopping to say I love this channel. Stopping to say I love this channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Steer had 2 years. I like a. Was there another stare down? Oh my God, there was.
7-1 Philly Rainmaker. And another stare down.
I mean, Arcia looks like a kid who just got his lunch money taken away from him.
And it's turned into the Bryce Harper game. Again.
Bryce Harper was put on this earth to torture Braves fans. He was. Oh my God, I just no. I'm again just taking my emotions out of the equation here. You want to talk about a stupidly violent swing? I mean, it is chaotic beauty that Bryce Harper. God. And you know what? Dave Dombrowski's comments make sense in that context. Like, yeah, maybe Bryce Harper's a guy like you gotta light a fire under him. Like the angrier he is, the better he plays.
His 5th postseason home run against Atlanta.
All right. Steer Tears. I was saying I like Steer a lot. Reds absolutely fleeced the Twins in that trade. I think it was, oh my God, it was the reliever. I'm pretty sure it was the reliever on the Mets who threw his glove into the stands and then said, I'm on the worst team in baseball, or I'm the worst teammate in baseball. It was kind of a mistranslation. My goodness. But Steer's fun. I like first baseman who can steal you a few bags, can play the corner outfield positions. He's a fun little player.
Giving it right back to Braves fans now. They usually don't get this too much.
Megan Freeman like you did the drummer. 1-1. About to go into one with a homer off Wheeler and never play again. It's hilarious. Oh Lord, why are you making yourself watch this? Well, it's a long story. No, it's not. My boy Heen suggested it when I was going to watch Game 6 of the 2021 NLCS, the greatest night of my life. But, you know, had put a wager up. I was like, look, Heen, if this comment, if your reply gets 50 likes, sure, why not? I know 50 likes it's not an ambitious number. It's not, in the grand scheme, it's not that much. But I was like, there's no way. There's no way there's going to be 50 people who want to put me through this. Well, there were 50 people who wanted to put me through this. And That's why we're here. We're watching just one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. This is pain. It's misery. Um, I'd rather swallow razors. I'd rather inject salt water into my eyes. I would rather have to stand on hot coals for 5 straight minutes. But no, I'm doing it for y'all. Doing it for y'all. All right, sorry, I'm very behind. Replacing Pedroia. I would love to do a replacing Pedroia. I just got to give it a couple more years. We'll see what Christian Campbell looks like next year. He kind of just got like punched in the mouth last year. The nicer way of putting it. I still think he's going to be a fantastic ball player, but I think, you know, it's sort of the Red Sox maybe getting a little bit too clever. I mean, he made huge strides. I mean, he probably made the biggest leap for a prospect during the 2024 season. And the Red Sox saw that and were like, oh, he's major league ready. We're going to give him this extension. And he just wasn't. He needed more time in the minors. He didn't really do that well in the minors either last year, but he got punched in the mouth. You always have a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So I still think he's going to be a good player, but I do want to give it a few years just to see that play out. I think with the replacing series, the player has to be off the position that they're being replaced at for at least 10 years. That's the sample that I want to use. Aaron Nola is like the Millennial Bro Burger Restaurant. It's good, but sometimes it misses you. Don't remember eating it. Yeah, that's yeah. Replacing Nolan Ryan. What team though? I mean, you can make a replacing Nolan Ryan. I will say, maybe this year we'll see. We will see. I really want to do replacing Bonds, and I'm going to do it for both the Pirates and Giants. And what's funny about the replacing Bonds situation is that the Giants left field after Bonds' retirement was a mess, but it didn't matter. They won 3 World Series afterwards. The Pirates, however, after Bonds left, was pretty good. They got Brian Giles. They had Andrew McCutchen. I mean, I know Andrew McCutchen also played center, but they had like decent production from left fielders. Like they weren't totally lost, but they were bad. Like they were awful as soon as Bonds left. And that's just so fascinating to me. And I kind of want there to be like a difference in presentation. So with replacing Bonds, the Giants version, it's like this like propaganda piece where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter that, you know, they've had a different man start left field for 20 straight seasons. Like we're the Giants, you know, we got everything figured out. We didn't need Barry Bonds. And then you have the Pittsburgh Pirates who were like the total opposite. Like I want to look like a school, like a really bad school presentation where it's like, we got good production from left field post Bonds' departure. It's just it wasn't enough, and 2, like we couldn't do anything else right. So maybe I could do something similar with Nolan Ryan where I just cover every team he's been on. We'll see. Poor Schauber, man. He literally had to get like lit up in the postseason twice before he lost his prospect status. This man had to like get absolutely like pummeled in the playoffs before he could drink legally. We've had a laundry list of second basemen since then. Yeah, yeah. It goes go crazy. I worked with the Phillies in clubhouse. I mean, that attaboy Harper got everyone on fire. Yeah, no, it should have. I just think the Braves shouldn't have put their tail between their legs. I think the Braves should have owned it. Like, what pissed me off in the aftermath of that whole saga was the Braves trying to retract that statement. Like, no, like, be the freaking villains if you got to be the villains. Why are we trying to play nice here? Like, roll with it. Like, you just look like a bunch of, like, I mean, like these are professional athletes who make millions of dollars a year. I'm just a 28-year-old literally sitting in his room watching the worst game he's seen in his life, for literally nothing. But, like, own it. I don't know. Like, just sometimes, like, in life, you just gotta roll with what you got. And yeah, maybe you didn't want those comments getting out, which, like, pretty innocuous comments. I'm sorry, again, innocuous comments, but there is a narrative that came from them. Just own the narrative. Why are you suddenly trying to retract and be like, oh, we didn't really mean anything by it. We were just, celebrating a post game. No, be like, yeah, we were talking shit. What are you going to do about it? Just pisses me off. Okay. Christian Arroyo, Manuel Valdez, Campbell, Pablo Reyes, Yu-Chang. Those are some names. I saw Christian Arroyo hit a grand slam against the Braves back in 2021. That was a great day. So I used to do this thing. I mean, I still do it sometimes, but I used to do it a lot back in the day. So I used to live in walking distance of Truist for a good, like, 4 or 5 years. I'm in north and east of Truist now, but I used to do this thing where I would I'd go to a lot of games, like, by myself, as because I'm a very introverted person. I don't know, I just like the comfort of me. But I would do it where I would just pick a bunch of albums to listen to while watching the game. And I remember that night was the night where I really got into Passion Pit. I really got into, like, indie pop music as a whole. I was listening to also, it was like Louis Del Mar, Passion Pit, and I listened to Passion Pit's debut album that night. It was just, even though the Braves lost that game, like, it was such a great night. Music and baseball, man. I mean, those are really the only two things you need in life. Water sometimes, like the occasional meal. I'm gonna break up with you over the stream. Sophia, why would you do that? I feel like you secretly love that. Harper is too angry to die. Molly, Jorge Lopez. Yeah. God, I am so sorry. I'm so behind in the chat right now. Y'all just, you ask me a question, and then I start to ramble, and then I don't stop, and 20 minutes pass. So I might. Okay, let me quickly get through this, because I want to get through everybody's comments, because y'all are awesome. Y'all, a streamer is only as good as his chat, and y'all have been fantastic. Crazy seeing Nick Castellanos before he was absolutely hated by Phillies fans. Yeah, like I said, Castellanos, like, one of the craziest heel turns for Phillies fans. I kind of hate to see it, to be honest. It reminds me a lot of the Miguel Tejada situation, or even the Rafael Palmeiro situation that happened in Baltimore, where, once beloved ball player, public opinion sours on them overnight. And, like, to be fair, Nick Castellanos has always been a controversial guy, even back to his days with the Tigers. I mean, that, man, you want to talk about dysfunctional clubhouse. Some of those Tigers teams of the mid-2010s, and, Castellanos came at the end of those, but, I mean, just look up Miguel Cabrera, Avisail Garcia, Prince Fielder. It's just, it's a mess. It's a mess. But, I mean, Nick Castellanos, when he was on the Reds, he's kind of, he's like, plays with an attitude. He always has. That's just been his game. That's been who he is. So it's not necessarily surprising. It's like, you know, if Trey Turner, no, not Trey Turner. It's a good example of like just an even keeled guy on the Phillies. You know, if Zach Wheeler had a sudden heel turn for the Phillies, that would surprise me. Nick Castellanos doesn't necessarily shock me that much. Caught it way too early, and we're moving them all around the infield. Wow, okay. I'm so far behind. I'm sorry, y'all. For how much I love this game. My favorite game ever was a regular season game from 23 where the Phillies beat the Padres, and my name was on the screen for my birthday. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Was it? Wait, 23. Okay, yeah, 23. Yeah. Yeah, Phillies also own the Padres, too. The extension is going to be worth it still. Yeah, no, I agree on Christian Campbell. I mean, this, you know, for a game that people allege is boring, it moves so fast. And, you know, I've had to tell myself not to be out on a guy after one bad year. You know, the game moves so fast on you. You know, sometimes you get a little bit wide-eyed, especially as a young player, especially as a rookie. But, you know, I mean, these are professional athletes. These guys are grinders. These guys are putting the work in every day. They're putting in the game planning, you know. And, like, you look at a guy like even Andrew Vaughn on the Brewers last year, who everybody – I mean, I remember I was super high on him when he was with the White Sox in, you know, 21, 22. I remember I was like, this is going to be, like, their first baseman of the future. And completely stunk it up. Was awful. Gets sent to AAA last year, and then the Brewers acquire him in the Aaron Savali trade, and he finally becomes the player we all thought he was going to eventually be. And, you know, like, we'll see what he is, but it's just the game moves so fast. Like, the perception of these players. You know, there's guys who probably didn't even know who Andrew Vaughn was, to be honest, at the start of last year, who are like now his biggest fan in Milwaukee. I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest. I'm kind of rambling here. Placing Bonds once a giant left fielder hits 30 home runs. I don't know. I don't know if that's happening anytime soon. I mean, okay. Elliot Ramos could. He has the potential to. I still don't think he will. There's just, unfortunately, too many flaws with his game. To me, last year felt like such a pivotal season for him, at least just like for me, the way I thought about him. And I think he just showed the kind of player he was, which is okay. Like he's a fine player. I think his cap is like 25 homers, for being honest, in that stadium. Jason Bay, a name that haunts my memory. Poor Jason Bay, man. Jason Bay got so absolutely screwed, though. I mean, the concussions, and then the Mets just deciding, like, hey, what if the center field fence was 500 feet away from home plate? What if left center was 550 feet away from home plate? Yeah, I mean, like, who's going to be able to succeed in those conditions? I mean, look at David Wright's numbers before they moved the fences back. It was appalling. God, I'm so glad the Wilpons. I mean, as a Braves fan, I wish the Wilpons still owned the Mets, but as a baseball fan, I'm so glad they're out of the game. Like, screw those clowns. I'm looking forward to the 2025 Colorado Rockies video. Thank you. I'm looking forward to being done watching the Rockies. I have one more game tomorrow, final game of the season. It's against the Giants. That last week, it's really funny because you think about teams playing spoiler in September. the Rockies were playing Kingmaker in September. Like, everybody and their mother was beating the Rockies in September of last year. Like, they couldn't even play spoiler, right? But it was funny, though. I was thinking about this, especially on the topic of Giants players hitting 30 homers. So yeah, Cal Big Dumper hit his 60th homer against the Rockies in the final week of the season. And then the next series, Willie Adames hits his 30th homer of the year against the Rockies. And I was thinking about this. I was like, what's the more impressive feat? 60 homers or 30 homers as a right-handed hitter at AT&T or Oracle Park? And I was like, honestly, it's actually Cal, by the way. I'm being totally facetious here, but I was like, what? It might just be a right-handed hitter hitting. I mean, it's hard for lefties too, granted. It's just Barry Bonds made it look easy because he was literally like juicing, like literally would wake up in the morning and then inject his eyeballs with steroids. But I don't know. I think 30 homers as a right-handed hitter in that ballpark might be up there with hitting 60 homers. I don't know. Just saying. Imagine being Smith Shawver the 2 times you're caught up as getting blown up at the posting. Then once you are having a good year in MLB, your arm blows out and you need Tommy John. Yeah, and then your manager doesn't even realize that you just blew your arm out. Like, I swear to God, I remember, like, I thought I could hear it popping on the broadcast. Like, I thought the mics were picking up like a popping sound. Yeah, that was a bad look. There's a lot of awful memories associated. I'm always going to associate with the Braves 2025 season, and that's definitely up there. Just the optics of Max and Spencer, but just the optics of your young pitcher clearly having diminished stuff, looking uncomfortable out there, and then a player has to come up to your pitching coach and manager and say, hey, like, you got to get this guy out of the game. Like, he's clearly not right. And yeah, lo and behold, towards UCL. Replacing Delgado for a first baseman is easier than I would have thought. Over Bay 6-10, Lamlin 11, Lynn Edwin 12-14, Smoked 15-19, Vladdy 20 to present. Yeah, I love me some Carlos Delgado, man. Woke player too. I don't want to bring politics too much into this, but he was like basically doing like the Colin Kaepernick before Colin Kaepernick. He was awesome. Delgado is my man. Yeah, I would very much be interested in doing a replacing Delgado video at some point in the future. Shout out to the Phillies losing to the D-backs right after that. Made it a lot easier for my Rangers to take the World Series. Yeah. You know, I'm on my Patreon. I'm doing a video this month of just like ranking recent rebuilds, and the Diamondbacks are such an interesting team because I think our perception of them is so much different because they made the World Series. Because they have not really built great rosters since their rebuild was complete. If you even want to call it a rebuild. But I mean, like, they were awful in 2021. My goodness. I mean, in a decade that has seen some really bad teams, like they're up there for me. But yeah, I think our perception of the Diamondbacks is so much different because they made the World Series, but they really had, I hate to say this because I love my Diamondbacks fans. Like, you know, shout out Vic, shout out Connor. But they had no business being there. I'm sorry. But look, as an angry Braves fan, I would have taken the the Marlins in the World Series if it meant the Phillies losing. I wanted Springer bench for Alan Roden. Had like a 60 WR split. Some trade for Varland. Yeah, I mean Springer, just what a miracle season last year. And that's been the player he's always been too. Obviously, you would say last year was his career season, just because even in his peak years with the Astros, he's always been an injury-prone player. But take Springer, you take him out of the field, you let him just mash. I mean, he's always had the bat. It really was just a matter of, fighting the aging curve and staying healthy. And he was able to do both those things last year and was, I mean, one of my favorite seasons in recent memory. The Vaughn resurgence was great, but I don't think enough people talked about how Gavin Sheets was an actual solid. Yeah, I mean that's the post White Sox effect we've seen, and the White Sox are coming around. I mean, they've completely revamped their development. They've revamped their coaching somewhat. But yeah, I mean, Gavin Sheets on the Padres last year, solid, like 110 WRC plus bat, maybe a little less than 110, but he was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't say he was necessarily the difference between them making the postseason and not, but I mean, there was no world where they were fighting the Dodgers for the NL West title in September without having a Gavin Sheets in their lineup. Ramon Laureano too. I know he started the season with the Orioles, but he very, very low-key had one of the best offensive seasons last year. The Braves pitching this year could look like their 95 version, but y'all will most likely have 3 starters getting Tommy John by June. Okay, but who, though? Look, Spencer's already had it. Schwellenbach, sure. He broke his elbow, but that's different. It's not the tendon. That's what really matters. Sale, I think he's got some gas left in the tank before it gives out again. He got the transmission recently. I don't know. I think we'll be fine. I think our pitching health will be okay this year. I need to watch the White Sox one. Hearing about the Rockies video has piqued my interest. Yeah, the White Sox, I did just one game. It was the 2023 White Sox. It was before they set the all-time record for losses in a season. But yeah, that was a fun video, and I just wanted to up the stakes by watching every Rockies game instead of just one, because I think, especially in a sport like baseball, you can't really understand a team watching just one game. And that's why I was like, yeah, let's watch all 162. Just fire them up. Do I feel dead on the inside? Yeah. Will I make a great video out of it? Yeah. Probably. Which team is worse, the 24 White Sox or 25 Rockies? Man, I really think the 2025 Rockies are slightly worse. To me, the 2024 White Sox had players. How do I put this? They had players with potential to be great. The Rockies were dead on arrival. And I mean, even then, the Rockies still got, Hunter Goodman. I mean, Hunter Goodman was awesome last year, legitimately. Like a very well-earned All-Star appearance. It wasn't just a pity appearance like we've seen with other All-Stars on bad teams. But to me, the Rockies is just one of the worst collections of MLB talent ever assembled for a team that just hasn't really had it since, 2018, 2019. At least the White Sox. And, the White Sox, again, it was like at least they had something of a plan, sort of, but not really. The Rockies don't have a plan. The Rockies are like the ostrich sticking their head in the sand until the predator goes away. The Rockies are just, I don't know, like, I think the Rockies, the 2025 Rockies are a worse team. I know they lost 2 fewer games or won 2 more games, whatever you want to put it. But I think it was just a worse assemblage of talent. The Rockies were. 09 Mets, Fernando Tatis at the second most homers. Big Shea with 5. God, yeah. As a little kid who just loved offense, that like I would like get seizures watching games at Citi Field before they move the fences in. Like, I mean, I literally, like, I'm still paying off those, or my parents are still paying off those medical bills. Kevin Pillar is the ultimate glue guy. Kevin Pillar is awesome, man. I'm glad he's on foul territory now. He's starting off his media career because, yeah, he's one of another, you want to talk about great nicknames, the human crash test dummy. Amazing. No notes. Because, I mean, he always put his body on the line. I actually, unfortunately, was at the game in 2021 where I think it was Jacob Webb who hit him square on the nose with, like 94 mile per hour fastball. But, yeah, I mean, it was that I don't want to get into the gory details, but it was, I mean, I physically, like, flinched watching that. But, yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he's one of those guys that, if he wanted to stick around for another 5 years, I think he could have. Like, literally just being a vibes guy. Ballpark was truly built for Jose Reyes. Interested Luis Robert is going to go off. Yes, Luis Robert is yes. In that lineup, hitting bottom of the order, no pressure, motivated for, like, the first time in his career. Oh, my God. Yeah, he's going to... I'm scared. As a Braves fan, I'm not looking forward to it. Crazy how much the Mets have just changed the perception of their team over the offseason. I mean, what was I saying? The Mets. Oh, yeah, the Mets. Yeah, like, they're good this year. Oh, man. Yeah. Remember when the Braves slugged .503 as a team? And they scored, what, 7 runs over 4 games? Okay. All right. Also, I was looking at Ozuna Savant had like a 50% walk rate last year out of nowhere. Yeah. So yeah. Like that. I foolishly thought that Marcell Ozuna was going to get a really, really hefty 1-year contract this offseason because in April, he was awesome. I mean, he was legitimately like Marcell Ozuna from 2026, but even better plate discipline. I mean, he was rocking like a 20% walk rate at one point. Like, I mean, it was like Bonzi-esque at one point. And then he tore his hip, and he was still maintaining his walk rate. I mean, he still like maintained a pretty decent walk rate throughout the year. But then at one point, Alex Anthopoulos was like, "Oh, by the way, Marcell Ozuna tore his hip. You can throw it in the zone against him. Like, you could throw it right down the middle. He can't really swing a bat without feeling immense amounts of pain. So literally, like as hard as you can throw it, right down the middle, you're fine. But yeah, no, Marcelo Zuna was. I'm honestly, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a contract yet, because there's like the off the field issues too. It's an uphill battle for him in his free agency case. I wish the best for him. I just don't really want him on the Braves now. Honestly, I respect Schwelly a lot. After the injury, bro was throwing so hard he broke his elbow. That's tough. Yeah, he did against the Phillies too. I mean, he was pumping 98 miles per hour. Schwelly's going to be awesome. I mean, he to me answered any questions surrounding his game last year. Like the fact I don't want to say Jacob deGrom Part 2, but their stories are very similar to one another. I'll just say that. Obviously, Schwelly was a closer in college, but shortstop, good arm. See what we can do on the mound. He just like out of nowhere develops like 4+ pitches. Yeah, I mean Schwelly honestly, I think in June or July we're gonna have the conversation: is Spencer Schwellenbach the best pitcher on the Braves staff currently? And again, this is even with a healthy Chris Sale and Spencer Strider. Being a Pirates fan, I appreciate the Misery Index video. I'm 21. I got to see my team pass the wild card round once. Yeah, no, that was, yeah. I will say, when I do the Misery Index for 2026, I think I'm just going to do from 2005 to 2025. One day I will do of all time. I will literally do the most miserable franchises of all time, like from, I'll probably start post-integration, but maybe I'll do modern era, 1901. But I am changing a lot of my parameters, and one of the biggest ones is going to be, maybe it's kind of silly because it's not really the on-field product, but I do think it makes a difference, is stadium. I will say the Pirates might be bumped off of number 1 for that reason, depending on how much I weigh the stadium factor, which probably won't be super heavy, but we'll see when the time comes around. I'll start working on that in July. Okay, let's just, we'll skip that. There's nothing to see there. The 2024 White Sox at least had capable major league players. The 2025 Rockies was a conglomerate of below average players. That's how F. Goodman. Yeah. I mean, like, and another thing too is just that, and I'm going to talk about this a lot in the video. God, Francoeur looks awful with the saturation. The importance of depth, and that's just a concept the Rockies have just never understood. That's especially with, like, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to call the Rockies a smaller market team. They shouldn't be a smaller market team. They've shown they're capable of spending a lot of money, or not a lot of money, but like they're spending money. But, that's how a team like the Brewers, the Guardians, that's how those teams are able to get through the gauntlet of a 162-game season. And with the Rockies, I mean, it's just kind of disgusting, like the kinds of players who are getting meaningful at-bats for this team. But yeah, it's both bad teams. I mean, we're literally comparing like the bottom of the barrel to each other. What do you think of the Simeon Nimmo trade? I feel like it helps the Rangers out a bit more, but it's very sad to see Marcus go after all he did for us. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts there. I know the story came out about Simeon and Seager not getting along, so I think they just kind of had to shake up the clubhouse, bring a white boy in there. The thing with Nimmo is he does have an immutable tool, and that is his eye. He's got really good plate discipline. Unfortunately, I just feel his athleticism is just literally ticking by the day. And that to me was his second biggest like carrying factor, which I know sounds stupid, like, oh well, these are all athletes, but you know what I'm saying. He could play center field. He not well, but he could play center field. You know, he was passable there. He was really good in the corners. And unfortunately, that seems to be evaporating. His speed seems to be evaporating. And he's never had like great power. And, you know, I am kind of the theory where it's like pitchers aren't going to be afraid to pitch to if the worst that you can do against them is a ringing double, you know, as long as you're not cashing in all the runners on base, like they're not going to be afraid, especially good pitchers are not going to be afraid to attack you. And again, like Brandon Nimmo is like a scrappy player. I mean, he is death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like he will like work you really, really good at bats, grind the pitchers down. But especially in that like big ass outfield y'all got there in Arlington, I'm a little concerned. Especially given the years on his contract, where Simeon just had 3 left on his. I'm not. I think it's like a pretty even trade, but I wouldn't call it a win-win. I think it was just teams kind of handling each other's issues. Like they were basically just trading issues away into each other. And I'm not saying like Brandon Nimmo or Marcus Simeon were problematic players. Quite the contrary, actually. They're actually like very like upstanding guys, like very, very good clubhouse people. But just from a team building perspective. The silence there killed me. Like I said, I don't like having dead air time. That's something I don't watch like many streamers. So I don't know what the cadence is actually supposed to be. Like I'm just doing this off the cuff, but yeah, I try to avoid dead silence, but sometimes this game just will just make the worst out of me. 23 Braves or 19 Astros lineup. Well, okay. It's weird because the Astros had the rabbit ball working for them. You know, the Braves had their cheating lab or series of magnets or whatever. But the difference for me is that the Astros lineup carried them to a World Series, while the Braves lineup carried them to an NLDS exit. For sentimental reasons, like obviously I'm going to choose the Braves, but obviously one team's lineup was a lot more successful. Again, short sample, whatever. I get it. I think the Braves lineup was ultimately the better lineup over a 162 game season, but what lineup had enough dynamic veteran hitters to be able to get them to a World Series? And again, they went the distance against the Nationals. I mean, and I don't know if you remember the 3 games that they won. I mean, they pretty much blew up Washington, D.C. Didn't Chris Young say Nimmo would play in right? I don't recommend that personally. Yeah, he's definitely not playing center field. I don't know if you mean right as opposed to left. I'm not like super familiar with like the exact dimensions at, was it Globe Life now or Globe? That's the thing. Y'all literally like built this new stadium only to give it the same name, because there's Globe Life Field and then there's Globe Life Park. So it's the same sponsor. I know, I'm aware of that, but I'm not super familiar with the dimensions at Globe Life, if that's what you're referring to. Acuna really went silent during the series. Yeah, I mean, hey, 2 hits in this game, all right? Got 2 hits off of Aaron Nola pitching the game of his life, so, you know, hold your horses here. But yeah, and then there's that hit in Game 4, the bases loaded. It's like a couple feet away from hitting off the wall. Completely would have changed the perception of not just Acuna, but could have changed the tide of the series. But yeah, again, I'm kind of the theory with one, the Phillies pitching staff is just absolutely nasty and have just always owned us. I mean, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler. I mean, these are guys who just especially know how to pitch to the Braves. But also, you get to the colder air in Philadelphia during October, and you were a team whose entire philosophy was ball go boom, and suddenly the ball's not traveling as well, and you get those warning track flies. You get a couple. I mean, Austin Riley smoked a couple balls, and you're not really able to like adjust your approach on the fly. That's not how this works. Oh man, poor Ryan Kirkring. I'm rooting for him this year. I'm 100% an Orion fan. Can you really win? What do you think about the Rockies going out and getting Dave Podesta and Josh Burns? I'm glad they at least went outside the organization. There was a couple names that were being thrown around. Thad Levine. I'm gonna say Levine. Thad Levine. He was in the running. He expressed interest in joining the Rockies. I think he actually did an audit on the team during the season. I think he would have been a better fit. It's just Paul De Podesta has been out of baseball for so long, and he wasn't really that good as the GM of the Browns either. So we'll see. I mean, he's done nothing this offseason besides sign like Willie Castro, and obviously just your typical like 40 man roster moves, like kind of just shuffling around the back end of the roster. It's baby steps. Probably the best way to put it. Like I'm just glad they were able to get somebody from outside the organization, because this team needs a new voice. It's just that voice might be kind of hoarse and sick and would give Deshaun Watson a contract, but a new voice nonetheless. Is Riley ever going to be good? Riley's going to be awesome. I am 100% drinking the Riley Kool-Aid in 2026. I will say my outlook on Riley was a lot rosier after 2024 than it was after this last season. There was just in 2024, one thing, he was playing hurt for a lot of it, and he actually caught fire before getting hit on the hand by Jack. Fuck, how do you say his name? Kakanana, which the pitcher on the Angels named Jack. So last year, unfortunately, his whiff rate went up. I mean, he was striking out a lot last year. He was chasing more. He wasn't getting as much juice on the ball. That was concerning. He does go down after a sports hernia, and I do question if maybe this was an injury that he was playing with through the entire season. I do actively wonder that, but I still think he's a really, really good freaking ball player. And I have no doubt that he's going to come out in 2026 and absolutely shove. I do. My theory, though, is that he's going to start slow, as he always does. I like splits a lot. I just as a fun narrative storytelling device, but you can't read too much into them. I was reading an ESPN article the other day where they mentioned that Alec Boehm always has a bad May, and that, they were like, oh, once that happens again, once he struggles in May again, they're going to call up Aiden Miller. I was like, what are y'all smoking over there in Connecticut? Like, that is not how this works. But I do kind of agree with maybe starting slow, getting into the groove of things. Like, I do give some credence to that. It's just when you're like, oh, like this player is really good in June. Like, okay, but I do think Riley is going to start slow again and go absolutely scorched earth for a good 4 months of the season and possibly hit 40 homers. I'm not even kidding. Honestly, right now, I think Schwelly has a higher ceiling than Strider did 2022. Ooh. Okay, I like that. I like that take. Schwelly has a deeper arsenal of pitches. Um, I'll take Strider's fastball. I would take Strider's individual pitches over Schwelly's, but it's the fact that Schwelly has a fastball, a splitter, a sinker, a curveball, and they're all usable pitches. Um, like he's so far advanced for his years. So yeah, I do agree. Oh, it's because Strider was really good in 2023, man. I mean, but I do think Schwelly will legitimately have a case for the best pitcher on the staff this year.
I know more about changing diapers than that. 2-0 to Wall. First action here for Forrest Wall. Added to this Braves roster.
When people talk about the worst franchises in MLB history, why don't people mention the Guardians in that? 0 World Series since 1947. That's the longest round in the league by over 20 years. Yeah, I think one thing with the Guardians is, I mean, they've been a good team in recent memory. And I'm talking when I say recent memory, I mean like in the last 35 years. I mean they were pretty god awful in the 50s, 60s. So, I mean, there was a period of time where they were bottom dwellers in baseball for just years in, years out. But I think it's just because really since what was the nickname? Like the Manny Ramirez, Jim Thome, Carlos Baerga. There was like a specific nickname. The Guardians / Indians of the mid to late 90s. Since then, they've just been a consistently good franchise, minus lack of extended postseason success. But we also have to remind ourselves they've been to 2 World Series. Was it 3 World? They've been to 3 World Series. Sorry, I was forgetting about my Braves there. They've been in the postseason a lot. I think that's why it's just a lot of the people who saw them as bottom dwellers are a little bit older now. It's not really the zeitgeist. It's not really the conversation that we're having. Guardians went 30 years without playoff success. Yeah. Okay. I'm like so behind here. I'm playing Origins on BO3. What staff do I get? Does Strider fall off that hard? But thank God I didn't completely miss the Miami Vice Filter game. Who are you playing? What does that mean? My bad, wrong person. Richtofen. I stopped playing zombies after Black Ops 2. I think the last map I got was the Alcatraz. Oh, RIP to a legend. I would like it if you did watch party lives during the season. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about doing that. I mean, honestly, if I'm able to do the Patreon Discords, anyway, what I was saying, if I do the Patreon route, I can literally, I mean, this is like maybe, the legality of it is questionable at best. But I could do it where I stream the game on Discord. We just have to be really, really quiet about it. We have to keep it it has to be a secret, okay? Can't tell anybody. You can't even tell your friends. But I would like to do it, watch parties or, live streams. Y'all have to, find the game on your own. I'm not going to share it on the screen with you all. I'm not doing that. Got to at least join the Patreon. But But yeah, I would definitely be interested in doing that during the season. Please don't say below Washington D.C. You're gonna get your stream taken down again. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm saying the Astros did it. I forgot about that. That's, oh my god, it's so petty. Stuff was there for Kirk Green's. I really hope he can rebound as well. So if you already got what staff you want to figure out, then I wonder how many people said no before the Rockies turned. That's okay. Look. I forgot. I legitimately forgot they just made Smith Shawver wear it. Poor kid, man. I mean, yeah. He really was on. I mean, I remember people were saying that Smith Shawver should have started this game. No. But making this kid come in to soak up innings after like clearly losing it. This was so painful, man. 15 left on base. 15 left on base. Are you like, it's not like we were devoid of opportunities. What was I saying? So, yeah, the thing with the Rockies, though, the party line is a lot of, at least, like, writers that I read, a lot of people want to be in charge of the Rockies. It's in terms of a team building exercise. Obviously dealing with Dick Monfort, dealing with, I mean, because like the resources. The thing is, like, the resources are they're not there. There aren't any. There's like their analytics department is like 2 people. There was that story, I believe, with like somebody who worked in the analytics department also being the clubhouse manager, or also being like a concessions worker or something. I gotta find that story. There is none, though. It's a joke. Their analytics department is just a really long-winded joke. That part is not fun, and that would have to be addressed. You really need somebody who has just like leverage and confidence. But in terms of building a winning Rockies team, or building a winning team at Coors, there's a lot of people who want that challenge. I mean, it's like, think about it like this: if you're able to build a perennial contender, given the limitations or factors, just the whatever you want to call them, like, you're a first ballot Hall of Fame executive right there. Like, that's your legacy. And there's like so many great baseball minds who want that challenge. So I don't know. I don't know what their interview process was like. I mean, once I get through the season, I'll do some research and look at all the names that were involved. I mean, I've seen a couple, but I don't think that was. I just don't believe that was the issue there. I think the Rockies just, it's like the cartoon character like stepping on rakes, basically. I think the Monforts watched Moneyball and were like, we should hire this guy. What'd be funny is, like, they called Jonah Hill first. they saw Moneyball and were like, oh yeah, we want to hire that guy. And like, they look up the cast, like, Jonah Hill. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's our guy. He was the one saying all the smart baseball things. And then they call Jonah Hill, and he's like, no, I'm Jonah Hill. I don't know anything. I was just reading lines for a movie. Cohan, like the Fast and Furious guy, no wits. Never mind, I got stepped on my real trend.
Well, the story for me is the bottom part of this Phillies lineup: 6, 7, and 8 tonight. 5 RBIs.
Best and worst MLB team uniforms. So for me, I like unique uniforms. Like I'm just kind of done with the red and blue color scheme, but I wouldn't necessarily call them ugly or bad, just boring. So it's like what team is like the most guilty of like uninspired jersey choices? I don't know. I've never really liked the Cardinals uniform when they have the black helmets or the black hats. I think it looks good. I think it's actually a pretty good match, good combination. But something about like the red on red has just always looked particularly ugly to me. Best uniforms. I mean, I like the Orioles blacks a lot. I mean, really, just any black uniform I'm a fan of. Cubs are classic. I mean, probably the Mariners. I would say the Mariners teal. I would say that's my favorite, or at least I would say best. And then worst would probably just be like, I mean, like we could just pull out like the worst City Connect uniform, but let's just leave those out of the conversation. I mean, is it controversial to say Cardinals like or not Cardinals home uniforms? No, it's because it's still a good logo at the end of the day, and it's not offensive. Okay, just taking City Connects out. There's just no like egregiously bad ones off the top of my head. Cassie hasn't been the same since the series, I swear. I don't know if you're a Falcons fan or how much you follow them, but James Pierce got arrested for crashing his car into his ex-girlfriend's car, trying to stop her from going to the police. If my roommates have a Falcons game on, I'll watch. Like I'm very surface level involved, but I don't know who James Pierce is. I gotta be honest. What was the rotation besides Strider in 23? I honestly forgot. Max Fried, Charlie Morton, and then some version of Dylan Dodd and Jared Schuster. That was that was like our fifth spot. And then Bryce Elder, obviously, too. Bryce Elder actually lost the role to Dylan Dodd and Jared Schuster. He wasn't on the opening day roster from what I remember. But those guys were not very good. So Bryce Elder found himself as a mainstay and eventually as an all-star. So, good for him. Monfort must want to be hands-on. Oh, my God. I am so behind in the chat, y'all. I'm sorry. Monfort must want to be hands-on, like the Sacramento Kings owner for the jobs to look bad. Owner for the job to look bad. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the actual exercise of building a Rockies team, but dealing with Dick Monfort and just like the lack of resources. Like at least the White Sox, Chris Getz came into a situation where there was something there. They had at least had an analytics department. At least like it was a team that at one point tried to move ahead and tried to be modern, like modernize themselves. The Rockies haven't done that. I gotta just say, I fixed the Rockies. They're the biggest flex of all time. Rockies analytics department is just 3 raccoons in a trench coat. Diesel Hernandez, God, I want to be good, but he has the control of park participation on Red Bull. Yeah. I'm so out on Daysbell. Like he's a pitcher who I think a lot of Braves fans believe is a lot better than he actually is. When we surprised, the Rockies looked for Peter Brand and then found out that he's not a real person and then settled for We have to see Dick Monfort's search history. Moneyball. Who does Jonah Hill play in Moneyball? Who is Peter Brand based off of? We can recreate Nolan Arenado in the aggregate. Man, Ryan McMahon, you want to talk about a player who just like has the tools. Like it's right. It's the Aaron Boone. It's like it's right in front of you. Reds uniforms have been bland for a while now, and all the red jerseys are good, but the rest are boring. All the red jerseys are good, yeah. And I like the Red City Connect a lot, too. You see the Marlins throwback return. I did see the Marlins throwback returning. I'm super excited for that. I actually immediately do have a Marlins teal shirt that I'm very proud of. It's one of my gym mainstays. Really confuse the hell out of people, wearing the Braves hat, the Marlins shirt, and I'll put my Rocky socks on. See how many like different teams I can represent at once. Best Philly emo band. Look, I have an answer for the best Philly emo band, but y'all aren't going to want to hear it. Let me see how many people are here real quick. 26. Okay. Look, just because I think this is the best Philly emo band doesn't mean that I support anything that this person did. But I'm sorry, best Philly emo band is Jank. Like, I mean, they were ready to conquer the entire world here. Unfortunately, their lead singer, Lou Diamond, is just terrible, awful person. Rightfully, got what they deserved. But I will say, though, other two members, great fucking people. Sam Becht, I actually have like a ton of mutuals with him. One of my best friends is the touring bassist for Weather Day, and Sam Becht, the drummer for Jank, is the touring drummer for Weather Day as well. He also has toured with Remo Drive, Oolong, a couple other bands. One of my favorite drummers, bar none. I mean, dude is an absolute beast, and just wonderful human being on top of that. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, Jank wasn't anything without the rhythm section. It wasn't just the Lou Diamond show. But I mean, that's a sound I feel like so many people have been trying to capture since they were dissolved and have just not been able to hit it the way that Jank was able to. Any thoughts on the case on the Cease contract? 7 for 210, 7-186 after deferrals. I like it a lot. Like your uncle is going to tell you it's no overpay. He's not that good, but I mean, he's got arguably the best slider in baseball from a right-handed pitcher. He can gas it up at 99, 100. The problem for him is just he needs that third pitch. He needs, he's got to change up. Yeah, he's got to change up that, he can go to. He just can't rely on it. It's like an emergency pitch, like, break glass kind of pitch. If he can develop that, or if the Blue Jays can give him another breaking pitch, just really anything to throw to lefties. That's the biggest issue, is that he just doesn't have much to work with against lefties. So if he can build that change up, locate it, work on his walks or work on his command. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like Dylan Cease can be the next, like the best pitcher or top 5 pitcher for the next 5 seasons during the course of that contract. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Oh, look, I'm Trey Turner. Yeah, I can dive up the middle. I can do spins. Look at me. I'm so cool. This fan base had to reverse boo me because I sucked. That's real hard to talk about emo without getting into how terrible the frontman can be. I'm a huge Marietta fan personally. I never got into Marietta. I always got confused because there's Marietta, Georgia, like where the Braves play essentially. I just got that confused, and every time I'm like, oh, like let me listen to Marietta, I'd always find myself in Marietta, Georgia instead. It was odd. You think the Braves will be over 5? Oh, yes, the Braves will be over 500 this team. Come on. What do we... Yes, they will be over 500. Unless, like, everything goes wrong. Unless, Ron Acuna Jr., like, tears both his ACLs in the WBC. Chris Sale gets in another bike accident. Spencer Schwellenbach breaks his elbow again. Like, a lot is going to have to go wrong for the Braves to finish under 500 again this season. But you know what? Ha-Seong Kim already slipped on some ice and tore his finger. So maybe maybe we're down the path to totality, and we don't even know it yet. WBC predictions. I'm gonna have to like really look at the really look at the tournament, the format, before I can make any accurate predictions. Just because I want to see the pools, who's playing each other, and the unfortunate issues with Puerto Rico. That changes things a lot because Puerto Rico like would have been a favorite. I mean, they like historically speaking have been a good team in the WBC. But not having Lindor and Carlos Correa and Javi Baez, even as much as you want to say that he's washed, still better than whoever's going to be on the roster in his place. But yeah, I'll be at WBC. One of the semifinals. I think it was semifinals game 2. Going there with SRS Mike, Jabroni Baseball, Sports Storm, and That's Baseball. My friend Zach, who you'll see in the chat a lot. My girlfriend Sophia, who might have just broken up with me in the chat, which I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her about that. As well as Mitchell, who works with baseball, doesn't exist. Just a great group of people. I'm just so like blessed to be in such a great community. I'm not even religious either, but I legitimately do feel blessed getting to call so many great people like my friend through doing this, and I'm really excited to go to the WBC with them next month. The Braves will be over 500 thanks to our Lord and Savior Jerks and Profar. I think PR still makes it out of the pool with Canada because that's the worst pool. Yeah. Like I said, I have to like just do a deep dive on who's playing who, what pool, like before I have any like. I don't want to. As much as it seems like I talk out of my ass a lot, because I do, I try not to. I try to, research things and have informed opinions. It's just sometimes I put my foot in my mouth all the time. But I'm getting better at it, all right? Like I said, I'm seeing a therapist. She's like, "Hey, Cole, you don't have, like, you can look things up before before you say anything." Yep. That's it. I'll be honest. I was mostly reading y'all's questions and answering them. I've seen this game. I watched this game. Trust me. I suffered through every pitch of this stupid game back in 2023. It was awful. Yep. Phillies bang out 6 homers. But, God. Pray for Bryce Harper. Pray for me. Pray for Team Venezuela. Pray for. Never mind, I'm not making that joke. That's a stupid joke. That I'm glad I did not make. The WBC is about the only thing I don't try to predict. An electrician from like Amsterdam struck out Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, I mean, this year is so different. The USA actually has a pitching staff. I mean, it's probably going to be the USA. And again, it's a tournament. I mean, unfortunately, I love the WBC. I am so pro WBC. I think just getting this game in a more international spotlight. I mean, it's just so good for the growth of it. Getting new fans, just kind of like legitimizes it, and like not many sports have this sort of international impact. It's soccer. Obviously, soccer is the worldwide sport. We're not dethroning soccer anytime soon, but basketball really is just America and Europe, and then football is really just an American sport. Nobody outside of the United States really, like, no mass amount of people outside the USA cares about football, really, unless it's like Canadian football or Australian rules football. But I'm very pro WBC. The only thing is, it's like, we're playing these round robin formats. We're playing these one game, do or die, win or go home. Unfortunately, that's just not. A ball takes a funny hop, and suddenly, Team Israel is in the semifinals. Like, it's just, it's just not like the cream isn't always going to rise to the top. I mean, it did last year, granted, even though we did get Cuba USA, and I was at that game. I'll just say this: there were more on-field protesters than there were Cuban hits. It's the nicest way to put it. But then you also got, Mexico versus Japan, which was one of the craziest games I've ever been to. One of the best games just for play between professional baseball players. So, I think it's good, but sometimes randomness will win. So anyway, my hot topic for a tournament is that a country that hasn't won before wins it all this time. Either it's Mexico, Venezuela, or someone else. Yeah, I like that. Did you really watch any Winter Leagues this year? No, I was watching the Rockies. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time. I had to watch Rockies baseball. But yeah, Rockies video coming out later this month. Really looking forward to it. Really looking to share. I'll be honest, I haven't even really started the script. I have over 8,000 words of notes that I've taken during the games, but I haven't even started a script yet. But that will be coming out late February, the last week of February. Also, too, this week, this is important, or I guess next week, my band Proof is releasing their second single, Accomplice. Will be on streaming sites everywhere. Friday the 13th, February 13th. Super excited for that. I just, I want to share music with you as much as I share baseball, just because that's the other side of me. That's my other passion. And we put in so much freaking time and effort into these two stupid songs that I just love and am just going to be proud of until the day I die. And really excited to share those with you as well. So that's coming out this week. And then, do I have anything else? No, I think it's just singles. If you're in the Atlanta area, we're playing our release show February. Oh my God, I'm botching the date. I think it's February 19th. It's a week from Thursday. We're playing at Box Social and Supply. Come on out. We're donating a portion of the door to Atlanta Mission, which is a homeless shelter foundation. We're super excited for it. I mean, I'm just so ecstatic and just so happy to be doing everything that I'm doing. I mean, every day I feel just so lucky. It's not always easy. I've made a lot of sacrifices, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I thank y'all so much for just being here, sharing this with me, watching a grown man rewatch a game from 2023 in which his team got absolutely blown out by their rivals. Just all of it means so much to me, and I don't ever want to take it for granted. So anyway, I'll end the stream here. Y'all have been amazing. If I wasn't able to get to anybody's questions, you can always message me on Twitter or something. I'm always open. I never want to feel closed off from anybody. If I don't get back to you, it's just I'm busy. But I try to get back to literally every single person. Yeah. All right. Thank y'all so much.